This time on Square Roots, you must come with me, for I am the Grim Reaper.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Zandt.
What up, dogs? Oof, oof.
Johnny Manny Brandon.
I'm a man-eater.
And V Glizzy.
Yo, 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 it's your girl V Glizzy.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs one chunker at a time. And this is not that. This is us playing Grim Fandango. Not saying it's not good. I'm just saying it's not an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
It's also not
It's a
good.
classic adventure game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of opportunities to roleplay as Manny, and more men should take advantage of them.
Who's Manny?
You mean Grim Fandango?
You mean Grim Fandango?
Sorry, I mean Mr. Grim Fandango.
Well, you know, before we get to Grim Fandango, let's talk about the hot gaming news that's burning up the internet.
Hot gaming news. Gaming with your gaming dudes. We've got Vanessa. We've got Jim. Matthews here again.
I have one I want to talk about really quick.
Snaps for that one, Johnny. It was good.
John, you put in the Xbox handheld leak.
Excuse me, I put in the Xbox handheld leak.
Excuse me.
Oh,
Vanessa put in the Xbox handheld leak news item. Vanessa, will you tell us about that?
Well, sure. There was a leak of the purported Xbox-branded PC handheld accessory. It was something that was included in a FCC filing, and it looks like a black Asus ROG Ally 2, but with a little Xbox button.
Whoa.
It's, I think it's essentially kind of a Steam Deck that will...
Yeah, those ROG Allies are just handheld PCs that run Windows.
Yeah.
So that makes sense for like an
little
integration, I guess.
Yeah. It'll run your little Xbox PC app, and then you can play PC Game Pass and things like that on your little handheld, little tiny computer.
My little tiny computer.
Little tiny computer. It's got a little wiggle sticks on either side. It has some buttons. It has a D-pad. It has everything you'd expect to see on something like that.
There's ways to launch like PC Game Pass games on the Steam Deck if you're connected to the internet, but I'm too lazy to sit down and figure out how to do it.
Yeah. I guess this would be more user intuitive. So if you aren't very into fancy computer stuff, you can just be like, oh, I'll do this. Click, clack, clook. There you go. I don't know why someone needs it, but many people live different lifestyles and might want something like that.
If it doesn't play regular Xbox games...
I think it plays whatever is available on the Xbox PC thing.
Yeah,
it's
not the same,
cross-compatible.
Very different library, so it won't have old back compatible. Yeah, I'm not interested unless it plays the full, whatever you can play on a Series S. If it plays all that, then yes, I would be very interested. But if it's just another portable gaming PC, I got one of those. It's called a Steam Deck. I like it.
Yeah, I don't understand what the advantage would be above a Steam Deck, except that maybe it's a little bit more intuitive. And I guess if you have PC Game Pass, you have a big library that you could access with that.
Because trying to get PC Game Pass to run on a Steam Deck is annoying right now.
Yeah, it is.
Because you basically have to install Windows on your Steam Deck, and then it's just It's just painful.
Yeah, or use some kind of proxy thing. It's really annoying.
Nobody likes that in this day and age. We like to insert our video game cart and have it work all the time, every time, right away.
Cart? What's a cart? We're in digital land, lady.
Maybe you are. I'm old school.
I do like that the Switch, even the new Switch 2, will still have carts. I think that's fun. And I want them to be real. And that's a news piece I can talk about for a second. A bunch of Switch 2 games are going to release on cart. Like, they'll have a cart, but the cart's basically blank and it's just like a download key, which means that you can trade in downloadable games instead of just only having them to be yours. But it means that you don't, if the service ever dies, and Nintendo likes to kill off its services early, you won't be able to play that game anymore.
Yeah, that sucks.
Wait, you can trade the game in back to Nintendo for like credit towards another game?
No, you can take it to GameStop and sell it.
Yeah.
Well, then
because it's a card.
But if you've downloaded it, you just don't get access to that anymore?
Yeah, it'll only, it's like having, how on your PS5, if you have the disc,
so you
PS5,
like lose the license for it.
Yeah,
essentially.
Because even on PS5, it installs the game and downloads stuff. Even if you have the disc in.
I just don't like the concept of that.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
If I'm buying a physical thing like that, I can hold in my hand, that's mine.
Yeah.
And like they can't take my ability to use that from me at that point. That's my stance on it.
I have a copy of. No,
what they're taking from you is, I guess you're saying if the store shuts down.
Yeah,
or like really it's at their discretion. Like it's like they're not really bound by anything.
Buy a disc version of PUBG and they can shut down PUBG whenever they feel like.
Yeah.
You can't buy a disc version of PUBG.
That's a live service game.
Okay, World of Warcraft.
I also have Overwatch on disc, and I can't play that anymore. The disc doesn't work because the game's
true,
offline.
And I agree that sucks, but that's not working because the company has shut down servers for a game that they don't want to carry anymore. That's I'm agreeing with Jim here. That's not the same thing as them just being able to fucking take it away from you, which they can definitely do. So
yeah, if being online
sucks.
And playing with other people is not like a core part of the gameplay, I think like games that
I want the game to actually be on the disc if I'm buying the disc.
Yeah.
I think that like that when they did the super version of Final Fantasy 7 remake on 2 discs, the second one. What was it called?
Yeah, I have those discs.
That's on those discs. That's actually
on. And there's 2 of them. That's I can't remember the last time I bought a game that had 2 discs.
Yeah. So I don't like these game key cards, and there's one of the game companies was like, hey, don't underestimate the value of having the full game on the card. A lot of people prefer that. It was something, I don't know if it was Project Red. One of the PC people was like, hey, put your full game on these because they can pay more. The reason is that the Nintendo offers different storage sizes of cards, and the game key card is the cheapest for, and that's a cost that the game publisher eats. But they can buy more expensive cards that will fit the whole game. I think it goes up to 128 gigs or something, as a file size on those cards. So, they're just cheaping out. Wow. That's the answer. Anyway, that's just my little rant for today.
Hey, speaking of Nintendo sucking, I have two items of news in regards to Nintendo suing people. Nintendo has filed a lawsuit against Genki, who is a third-party accessory maker, for creating a Switch 2 replica that was shown at CES 2025.
I mean, I feel like I understand that lawsuit.
I don't disagree with you. And on a similar note, as we all know, Nintendo is suing the makers of Pal World. And in a recent series of patches, Pal World has been removing features from the game due to the lawsuit, such as the ability to summon your pals by throwing a ball out into the world, and the ability to glide using your pals. And instead, now you must have a glider in your inventory to glide in the game.
How do you feel? Like, I kind of understand, like, not throwing a Pokeball and having your monster come out of that. That I could get behind Nintendo being a little miffed about that one, but also they're so lawsuit happy right now.
Yeah, they are lawsuit happy. I'm not a big fan of lawsuits in general from big corporations, but I will say, particularly the Pal World one, like, I feel like that game out of the gate, before it was even in early access, was like, we're making a Pokemon game with guns. And Nintendo coming along and going, fuck you, is not shocking to me. Nor do I particularly blame them. Like, you know, they want to protect their IP and not have their Pokemon games associated with also shooting things. Which isn't shocking. The Pal World one, I don't give a shit about that. But the Genki one, I think, I also don't give a shit about. Never mind. I mean, it all makes sense. Genki, this third-party fucking company coming to CES with a mock-up of the Switch 2, probably based on the actual Switch 2. Of course they're suing you. What do they think what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Hey, I've got
I'm more annoyed about them, like, you know, taking down, like, Switch emulators. Yeah, I can understand that. But for old systems that aren't, not, you know, people that aren't using Nintendo, you know, intellectual property and aren't distributing games for free, like they aren't distributing Nintendo games, but just have created an emulator, that's not illegal. And Nintendo ignores that fact a lot and tries to sue them anyways, and that's really frustrating.
Yeah. I love Nintendo, but they suck. Speaking of hot gaming news, I do have another one that I just thought was interesting and wanted to bring up that I saw, which is that 3 new Xbox games recently got released on the PlayStation Store and were the best-selling games. I think, did it say in Japan or did I misread that? I'm never going to find the article again, so...
What's on? So this is like Forza Horizon 5?
It is.
Not Halo yet.
Forza
Halo's
Horizon 5, Oblivion, and Minecraft were the best-selling PS5 games in April.
I didn't know the Oblivion remaster was out on PS5 already. That's crazy.
In April of this year.
Oh, man, I bet it runs so smooth on the PS5, actually.
I mean, the PS5 and the Series X are pretty close in.
I have a Series S, though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. What else? GTA 6 trailer. Which, like, I think I saw a couple hours ago, that the trailer has set a record. Smashes past 475 million views in the first day, becomes the highest video launch of all time.
You might want to buy stock in Take-Two Interactive now.
No kidding. I think this is going to be like the biggest game release in history, probably.
Oh, it was CD Projekt Red that said developers should not underestimate people wanting games.
Okay, it was.
On the
yeah,
cartridge.
I thought it was them. Yeah. And I agree. Like, I buy for most Switch games, if I can, I'll get the especially like RPGs and stuff. I'll buy the cartridge because it costs the same or is cheaper, and I get a physical version. And usually, if it's a JRPG, it's going to go up in value later. So might as well.
I watched that GTA 6 trailer, and while I have never been much of a GTA player, I've played most of them and never really felt hooked past the initial first like couple of days of like fun to drive, run around, do crazy shit. That trailer looks really good, and boy, does it look like fucking Florida.
I can't, you know what? As much as I'm nervous about traveling to the US right now, I feel like exploring Matt's Florida would be so fun. Like seeing all the stuff you want to show me or Jim or Vanessa, like the crazy parts of Florida you enjoy. I think that'd be really fun.
I don't know what you're talking about. What crazy parts of Florida do I enjoy? Like,
I don't know.
Like the baseball stadium.
Yeah, like I mean, you go
Matt's
to the
like,
beach
that
and
one
the beach
English
bars.
pub that you like to go
Yeah.
to.
Matt goes
I don't
like
go
he
to
hangs
crazy
out under
parts
the
of
pier.
Florida.
He's hanging out at skate parks.
If you came here, I'd show you the weird parts of Vancouver because it's fun. Like I like going to not like dangerous parts, but just like this
What do you
is
mean by
like,
weird?
I don't know, like you know how Portland has like that little troll, or no, Seattle has that little troll under the bridge, and
Oh yeah,
like just interesting
like
places,
the quirky local stuff.
Yeah,
About
that's
that
what I
big
mean.
chicken I took you to see, Johnny.
That big chicken. Oh no, wasn't it? Was there a big chicken? It was the joke store, right?
Yeah, it had a
Yeah.
giant inflatable chicken.
That's true.
Or rubber chicken.
Yeah, the world's biggest rubber chicken at the joke store. Yeah, that sort of place.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying like take me to the heroin dens of Florida. That I'm saying that
They're meth dens here. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
I want to go on a fan boat. Do you have a fan boat, Matt?
No.
That's the other side of Florida.
Yeah. That's the swamplands of Florida. I mean, it's all swamp, but
Yeah.
it's not very swampy here.
So yeah,
It is
GTA
skippy,
6.
though. You can get across there.
Yeah, GTA 6 does look pretty interesting.
I like those GTA games. I find like the more that I like, if I'm like, sometimes it takes me like a few hours to get into it. Whoa.
I mean, like, calm down with your hot takes here.
Oh no, but like after the first few hours where I kind of struggle to get into it, eventually it just kind of ease into it. I just like lose so much time playing that game.
Playing Saints Row with Jim was a lot of fun.
Yeah, those games are fun.
I mean, you might notice that I have. It's my favorite genre game. I love an open world, drivey, shooty crime game.
When John and I played Saints Row, I think I got on first. John dropped into my game. I just kept running him over repeatedly. And John's like, "What? Who is that?"
Oh yeah, because I didn't even know you were in the game, right?
Yeah, you're like, I'm not sure where Jim is at.
They're a lot of fun, and I've cooled down. GTA 5 I found at first, when I first played the game, was so unpleasant to women that I stopped playing it. Like, it was just the most and now it's it's totally different writers. Like, it's got a female lead. It seems very different. Like, they're not having stripper nights and stuff that they used to have, because they got rid of pretty much all the executives that were into that kind of shit. Different kind of company now.
Is it still the two founders who run it, John?
The brothers? No, I think they're both gone now.
No, they're not. They're are they brothers? I thought they were like met in college or high school or something.
Well, there was like Benzies, who was the producer, but there's the brothers. I can't remember their name right now, but they were the ones who like founded Rockstar and kind of made its personality.
I'm talking about Sam Hauser.
Yeah, Doug and Sam Hauser, right?
Doug and Sam Hauser. Okay, yeah. So he's the president.
Okay, so he's still there.
Yeah.
So one of them's still there. I know that at least one of them left, and Leslie Benzies left.
Yeah,
and
Dan Hauser left. It looks like.
Yeah, Dan, not Doug. Sorry,
Dan. Yeah. Interesting. They have a really interesting history. Rockstar does.
Yeah.
In remaster news, there are two remasters to talk about. The Gex Trilogy remaster has a release date of June 16th. That's exciting. If you like them Gex games, I've never played one. And the creator of Echo the Dolphin announced a remaster of Echo the Dolphin 1 and 2, as well as development of a third game.
Ooh.
How do y'all feel about them Echo games?
They were okay. They were okay. Like, I was a Genesis kid. I played the shit out of that first one and the Game Gear version, which was pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't gone back and played them much. They're pretty hard to control.
Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't talk while I'm yawning. I feel like I could never get past like the first screen of Echo, even though I owned the fucking thing and put it in and tried to play it a million times. Couldn't figure it out.
You never got to the aliens?
It's like one of those games that you put in and kind of like ooh and ah at it for like 15 minutes, and you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got like, it's basically like a Metroid-y style adventure.
It is, yeah. Yep.
They get more complicated as you go on. You get abilities. I never owned the Dreamcast version. I had a boyfriend who had it. I watched him play it. It looked, for the time, that was one of the best looking games.
It was,
out.
yeah.
Like,
I do remember
Echo.
when that came out.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Well,
Yeah, I always liked the idea of it, but not the actual gameplay of it.
Yeah. It always looked really cool. It's always been one of the cooler looking games out there.
I think that's it for hot gaming news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think so. Let's talk about Grim Fandango.
Woohoo!
Wait, no. Before we go to Grim Fandango,
wait. I was gonna say. Oh yeah, wait. Oh yeah, you're right. We have plugs, and then the other thing that we do when it's the first episode of a new series.
Mm-hmm.
But first, plugs. You guys want to talk about Snatcher?
Yeah, we got about halfway through Snatcher yesterday. Or last week. You can go back and check the tape on that if you go to youtube.com and then type in Square Roots Podcast. You can watch Matt and I. Jim, you missed some more gore. An incredible Rutger Hauer's head explodes.
Yep.
Nice.
Matt was very impressed by that.
There was a stripper.
Yep. She was a dancer.
I don't
dancer.
I don't need the correction.
That's a line
She
from
was a
Showgirls.
stripper. That's a fucking that was a strip club. Just because she didn't take her clothes off when we saw her doesn't mean she wasn't gonna.
I'm not a stripper. I'm a dancer.
Yeah,
That's my Nomi Malone impression.
Snatcher continues to be a good fun time. It's almost more visual novel adventure game than traditional kind of video game, but it's a good fun time. It's fun to watch Johnny play. It's got a interesting, if completely derivative story. Had a great time with your character last night when he started hitting on the dead cop's 15-year-old daughter the day after her father died. That was cool.
What about the way that he grills the innocent non-snatcher drug user where he put the gun in his mouth twice?
Puts the gun in his mouth and it's like, are you a snatcher? And the kid's like, no. And
Versus
he's like,
when he's
I'm going to go
talking
check
to
your
the lady.
bathroom. And then he comes back out and he's like, all right, I found drugs. I guess you're not a snatcher. And puts his gun back in his mouth.
Versus how he treated the lady who was hiding the obvious like robot parts on her face. It's like, you're a hot lady, aren't you? Oh, thank you. He was so nice to her just because she lived in a nicer apartment and was a lady. Gillian is a terrible cop.
Yeah.
That game is Hideo Kojima. It's very sexist. Like, it starts randomly talking about how we're talking about the genetic. So there's cats are purses in this game. They're genetically modified cats that have a marsupial style pouch for you to keep your cosmetics in if you're a lady. Vanessa,
I'm interested.
And the game's like, Metal Gear's like, the lengths women will go to for beauty, because a lot of these cats get injured by the owners putting sharp objects in their marsupial pouch.
Yeah, just three things of note. Speaking of the game's sexism, as I mentioned, of course, the hitting on the 15-year-old girl the day after her father died. Speaking of, this main character who's doing the hitting on is married and loves to call and badger his wife, his estranged wife, to go on dates with him, to the point that it becomes very uncomfortable. And I'm sorry, I forgot. She likes it. Yeah, you can tell she likes it when she's like, I really liked that. No, I can't see you. No. I like our relationship the way it is. No. Yeah, ask me out again sometime. No, I don't want to see you, though.
She did send some mixed signals.
And then third is the stripper that we meet, who he badgers into giving her his phone number. So this guy is...
She doesn't, though. Remember? She doesn't.
I thought she did.
No, she only gives you the description of that perp.
Oh. Well, whatever. Either way, you
Hauer.
attempt to badger a stripper into giving you your phone number. This is 15 minutes after you have hit on a grieving orphan, and probably in between you called your wife to badger her into a date that she clearly does not want to go on.
Mm-hmm.
This game sounds mostly sexist against men because it's making him seem terrible.
That's fair.
It does make him seem terrible.
That's a good point. But it's got that feel of like the person that wrote this, Hideo Kojima, thought this guy was fucking cool. You know, the 15-year-old, get the stripper's phone number. Cool. You've got a beautiful wife that, you know, really, you badger about dates and is always like, I love it that you want to go out with me. Don't ever talk to me again. It's weird. Bad.
What do you think of was it Owen and I both thinking, or maybe it was Chris thinking that the guy looks like Sting from Dune? Like he's wearing the still suit from Dune.
It was everybody. Everybody on Earth saw that and went, oh, that's Sting from Dune.
Random Agile, so cool.
Yeah, Sting from Dune is in it. Rutger Hauer is in it. Like it's a wild game. Anyway, that's a good fun time. Come join us Wednesday nights for our Square Roots Gaming stream. And go check out Bears and Games Neo. Johnny has some news about that.
It turns out you can't put the Jay Moore's Christopher Walken Skittles commercial into a video because Saturday Night Live makes you take it down.
Yeah, they're pretty litigious in general.
It's just that's the second like full takedown I've had. The first was you can't use WWE clips because they are also super litigious and don't want any of their stuff on. Most companies will be like, okay, put it on there. We're just gonna make money from it, and I think that's cool. But not Saturday Night Live.
I think that probably both of the things you mentioned probably make a good chunk of money off of their own YouTube channels and like showing clips of WWE and clips from their sketches. So they're really on the lookout for it versus a random TV show that's probably not on YouTube. That's just like, oh yeah, sure. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You mean,
we'll take your money.
Did you use that Walker, Texas Ranger clip?
No.
Oh.
I thought about it.
That clip is so synonymous with Conan O'Brien's show.
It
feels more like a Conan reference than anything else.
I agree. That just came up like on my TikTok the other day when Conan finally played that clip on his show.
On his new show?
No, when he I think the first time he ever aired it, that came up on my TikTok the other day.
All right, I'm done rendering. I'm just gonna post anyway. Yeah, speaking of posting to YouTube, I'm posting my rough draft. So if you're in our Discord, you'll have access to it. That's probably, but the video, the rough edit's done. I already saw a technical error that I'm gonna fix, but that's okay. I'm just uploading it. So go to our Discord. I'll post it in there. And if you're not in the Discord, I'll post it or look up Bears and Games Neo on YouTube probably in a few days or right around when this episode comes out. The new episode on Saints Row will be live. But if you want to see a preview version, go to our Discord. It's free. It's free to go to our Discord.
I mean, won't the real one be up by the time this episode comes out?
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway, go to our Discord. Support our YouTube channels, give us your money, patreon.com/Square Roots Podcast. And last of all, love me. Just please. I mean, like me at least. God. And with that, let's dive into the quest log. I, Matthew, am, I guess, the person who chose this game, though that's not really how I view it. So I am the one who wrote the notes, and I guess will be walking us through this game, which is weird because I, A, don't like it very much, and B, don't know shit about it, and C, wasn't really paying attention.
Two requests. Yeah, first to talk about our history with this game, but also instead of the quest log, I really feel like we should call it the Bone Zone. Don't you?
Ooh, the Bone Zone.
I like the Boneyard, but you're right. Boneyard is better, or Bone Zone is better. You're right, Vanessa.
The Bone Zone.
Little 2-episode name. Welcome to the Bone Zone. Yes,
Welcome
we
to
should
the Bone Zone.
discuss our history with this game. How many of us have started it, played it for a few minutes, and then never touched it again? Me, that's 1. Johnny, that's 2. Jim, that's 3. And Vanessa, I assume, has played this game 10 times.
I have played this game 10 times.
Yeah.
I love this game.
Well, it does have a friend for you, so as we all know, that seems to be Vanessa the child's favorite games that give you friend.
I'll have you know that I played this game with friend.
Aw.
And
That's right.
How
My
did your
friend used to
mother
come
like the
over.
game?
She does not play point and click. Thank you very much. I'm talking about a real school friend, school chum. We're still friends to this day. I was just texting her today about how I was playing Grim Fandango.
What did she say?
Fun.
She said...
She's like, who is this?
She had
Is she on Taskmaster, Vanessa?
She just sent a gif of a beatnik snapping his fingers.
I love those beatniks so much. Those Hep Cats.
So Grim Fandango. Well, I guess we can talk a little bit more about our histories if you want.
Yes, please go ahead.
Can we talk about how we're playing it as well?
Yeah.
You can talk
I'll
about
just
whatever
give
you
a
want,
little-
Nobody's stopping you,
Thanks, man.
except for Claire Obscure. I don't want to hear about
little
that.
bit of
Feel so
background.
enabled.
This game came out in 1998. It's an adventure game from LucasArts.
Would you say it's for the
And it
modern
was-
era?
It's for the modern era because it was the first LucasArts game to use 3D computer
Whoa.
graphics.
Super kind of unnecessarily.
Overlaid on pre-rendered static
Yeah.
I don't actually super agree with that, Jim. I think it's kind of neat that it's 3D. Like, from a modern perspective, who cares? But I
Yeah,
imagine at the time, it was pretty cool.
But also, the reason why I wanted to talk about how we're playing it is because I started playing it for this playthrough on my Steam Deck, like using the analog sticks, you know, like moving the character around in 3D and like just wasn't really liking it very much because it still has like a weird interface. But when I played it on my PC today as like a true point and click game, it's way better. It's way better.
I mean,
you can tell it was... Yeah, it is.
I mean, I'm sure it controls better, but I just can't imagine it changes it that much. I am playing it on my Xbox. It is the remastered version is on Game Pass. It is kind of fun to hit the options button and switch back and forth between original and remastered. I always like it when games do that. And as I said, I tried it once and did not get far. These are not my kind of game. What can I say? Johnny, unmute your mic.
I never muted my mic, Matthew. To be fair, my mic currently does not have a mute button, but I will be receiving one tomorrow that does. So
Oh, me too, except I think 2 days from now. So
weird.
That's a little insight into shipping patterns of the Northern American continent.
And how your Patreon
Yeah,
funds are
I'm-
spent. Also, it's nice that it's a
Yeah.
touch. It's like a touch button. Remember my old mic?
Oh, so
My old mic had the clicky button. Yeah, it used to drive you crazy.
don't hit it while you're talking, Matthew. Okay, so a couple of things. I mentioned last week at Staples in 2004, I purchased my own copy of Grim Fandango. It was already 5 years old at that point, but it's still installed fine on my computer. And I thought I played it for a few hours. I really have that distinct memory, but I got stuck at the first puzzle in the game, Vanessa.
This is not an easy or intuitive game. I mean, it's easy in that it doesn't take any particular kind of skills,
Right.
but it's not intuitive in its puzzle design, and it doesn't really have a ease into the mechanics either.
Everyone was telling Vanessa what a tough time they're having with this game, and she's like, "You do remember that I did not choose this, right?"
I somehow have been blamed not only for this game being on the show, but I think for developing the game in the first place.
It's a good game. I'm loving it. But I don't... The puzzle... You know, like how I got through that half of Leisure Suit Larry 2 in December without looking up a single guide, and that was amazing. But playing this, like, every puzzle's like, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. But anyway, we'll get to there. I started playing it on Vita, and that caused, I think, the issue of I couldn't see the tie thing because the screen was too small. And then there's a deadbolt on a door that you have to open that I could not see that on that screen.
Yeah.
That was like half a millimeter or something. There's good pixel density on that Vita, but it's just too small for my old man eyes. So I did have to install it on PS5. At least it has cloud saves, so I could load my save from my Vita. Yeah. Yeah, that feels like high tech still, even if the Vita is ancient.
Whenever because like I'll start a lot of games on my Xbox and then shift to my PC. That's what I did with Claire Obscure. And it's so nice it's so seamless, like picking it up back and forth. It's really nice.
Yeah, I love that. Anyway, so I'm playing on PS5 on my new TV. That is how I played through 3.5 hours of it last night, around 3 hours of it last night, and finishing the chunker. What about Jim? What's your history with it too?
Oh, my history with it. I attempted to play this game when the remaster came out. I was like, I've known of the game for a long time, but I had never attempted it. And then I played it for like 20 minutes and I couldn't figure out what to do. And I was like, I don't like this. And then I tried to play it on my Steam Deck for this playthrough. And like I said, it just made me tired and bored. But I played it on my PC and it just felt a lot more intuitive to me, I guess.
But on PC, can you move MANNY around with the mouse, or do you have to use
you can
the
point
keyboard?
and click, but you can also use your keyboard controls.
Okay.
In fact, there was one screen I got stuck in with the mouse that I had to go back to 3D controls to get him out of this little screen he was stuck in. Who else? Did we all go? Matt, what's your history with this game?
I played it back when it came out on PC. And I beat the whole thing without needing a guide or having to do anything at all. It was easy, easy, beautiful cover map.
Holy shit!
Finished it in half the time that the game says it takes to play it. Weirdly, and
Matt wrote the first Game Fat guide on Grim Fandango.
Yeah, I did. I bounced off of it a long time ago. I tried it. I used to try a lot of these. Some of them I would get more into that were just kind of like sillier or more. Not that this isn't silly, but or maybe more in settings that I liked. Like I think I've said, I played a little Quest for Glory and King's Quest and some of that stuff, and was more into it. But
it's funny how we all have kind of different entries into the point and click genre. I feel like that's like the most diverse genre between all of us.
Really? I remember playing all the Sierra games, but I played a bunch of Sierra games as a kid too, but I just I never got very far into any of these games because they're fucking, it's just, my brain don't work good. I mean, I will say particularly the old ones, the puzzles it's nothing that makes sense. I don't know how anybody ever figured out. You use the fish on the doorknob and that makes the spaghetti come out. And you're like, what? Whereas this one, I am playing this with a guide, which I'm certain makes it more boring, but also I don't have 100 years to play this game. Like, I have limited time. So I got to use a guide. But I will say that, I think when you go through it, I think for the most part, I can see the logic behind a lot of this, particularly year 2, Ruba Kava or whatever it is. Like, I see the logic, it makes sense. I think if you go around and had talked to everybody and viewed every item and everything,
I think year 2 was better in terms of logical puzzles. I didn't always have to look at the guide for that. Agreed. It was pretty straightforward.
But it tells you,
except for
you walk up to something and click on it, it'll kind of be like, well,
thing.
You could maybe do something with this if you had something kind of like this.
That forklift one. How would you have figured out that forklift?
Oh, the forklift thing was really fucking hard. I had to use 3D controls for that too.
Yeah. Maybe Vanessa
Matt,
would, because
so
Vanessa's
Matt,
genius.
set this game up for us. Where does it take place?
Oh, yeah.
What's happening?
So here's what I've written for our notes for this week. So you are a skeleton, right? And that's the whole game. You're a skeleton and you walk around. And that's it. That's the notes. Discuss.
Your name
go,
is Grim
"What's
Fandango.
this?"
Yeah, your
What's
name
Grim
is...
Fandango the
There's
skeleton.
magic in the air. What's this?
The game
What's
starts
this?
and we're introduced to Grim Fandango, the skeleton salesman that is the main character of the game. And he lives in the land of the dead. Ooh, that's why he's a spooky skelly. Grim is a salesman who sells travel packages to the 9th underworld, which is the final resting place of the dead. You see, people who have done good deeds and lived good lives are able to buy better packages, travel packages, through the land of the dead to the 9th underworld. The best of which is a train that takes you to the 9th underworld in only
The number 9.
4 minutes. However, those who did not live good lives and do good deeds can't afford a travel package, and are left to walk through the land of the dead to get to the 9th underworld on their own.
If they
generally
can
don't-
even make it.
Yeah, they don't seem to be in any hurry, a lot of them either.
Yeah, it seems like A, you can die here. And B, a lot of people just seem to have given up. And in fact, later in the game, in year 2, some of the people we talked to tell us they don't even think the 9th underworld really exists.
Oh.
And the 8th underworld is basically our world.
So
but
is
with
it-
a little bit
Oh.
of supernaturalism.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like it.
Does
like
this
people
take
have
place in the
jobs.
8th underworld?
Yes.
So you don't start in like the 1st underworld? I assumed that, but I don't know.
I don't understand Catholicism or the Mexican variants of Catholicism, so
I think
I'm
this is more
confused.
based on Mayan
okay.
mythology.
Because I know that
interesting.
That sounds weird and wrong. Every year begins on the Day of the Dead. And seems to take place just over, at least the first 2 chunkers just seem to take place on the Day of the Dead. The first one takes place, and then a year later, the next one takes place. And I bet a year later, the third one takes place, and then I bet a year after that, the 4th one takes place.
You might be right.
So is the money that they I know
Some
nothing
money.
about, but no, the money that like the ofrenda, right?
Oh, it's
like
that's Aztec beliefs, yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Jump in. It is Aztec.
Because I know that it's been incorporated in Catholicism. Like they still do the ofrenda, and they still do the Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah.
And I can't even say
Yeah.
these words.
So I didn't
Oh yeah,
realize
this game
that.
definitely has like a Catholic influence as well. It's really
Also,
an
a lot-
amalgamation.
Also, a
Yeah,
lot of
very
Spanish too,
interesting.
because Manny's name is Manuel Calavera. Calavera is Spanish for skull.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think you mean Grim Fandango. I believe the character's name is Grim.
Yeah, Mr.
Fandango.
Fandango.
Grimmy Fandango.
Right.
I don't know who this
We don't know
Manny
who Manny
is.
Grimy
Calavera
hole,
is.
grimy
Jim's just talking
Fandango.
crazy.
Is that one of the characters you run across? It doesn't matter. Anyway, old Grim Fandango is kind of a loser, and he never makes good sales. He can't sell any good packages meanwhile, his coworker Domino gets all the prime clients and best sales. And his
But what you
boss, Dom Copel, is constantly breathing down his neck.
Wait, his boss isn't Domino, is it?
His-
His boss is
Dom
the other guy,
Copel
Bob.
is his
boss
boss.
is Dom Copel.
Domino
Oh,
is his
okay.
coworker.
Why would you have two
I thought Dom
characters
and
with
Domino
such
were the same
similar?
person.
Yeah, well, that's just bad naming. You shouldn't have
That is
two
bad naming.
characters.
Yeah,
One of them-
it's like
yeah.
naming a character.
Yeah, God knows
Jim and
I've
Jimmy.
never worked with 2 people with the same name ever in my life. By the way, did I tell you guys that I trained a new guy this week? His name is Paul.
Although this is like a
Love you,
deliberately
Paul.
written game, though. Like, if that happens in real life, that's fine. But in a narrative, like you can name so many other things.
Yeah.
We
So
learned
Manny
that,
isn't a loser. Manny is actually, you find out in year 2, a very good businessman. And you also
Yeah,
find
well,
out in year
Manny
1 that
used to
he
be on
used to
top.
be. Something's
Yeah.
happened. And he doesn't think it's his fault, but his boss sure says it's his fault.
Yeah. Manny also is working off some kind of debt that he incurred when he was alive, so he
Mhm.
has to like earn enough karma to move on, but he doesn't know why he has this debt, he said.
Yeah.
I thought he said he didn't want to talk about it. I don't know.
No,
I
he
didn't get that
doesn't
he
know
didn't
for
know
sure.
about it.
That's
Oh,
Vanessa's
okay,
correct.
wow.
I think maybe he doesn't want to talk about it because he doesn't know. And it seems like other people do know. Anywho.
So basically, his afterlife is very much like a human life, except he's a skeleton. He has a crappy job in sales, and his coworker sucks, and his boss sucks.
And there's a real like Art Deco thing happening in this office and in this city.
Yes, I
which
would
is
say
really
that the
fun.
setting is heavily Art Deco inspired.
Yeah.
I love it, though. I think that the art direction in this game is fantastic. It's Art Deco inspired, but sort of mixed with like Aztec or Mayan architecture, frescoes and imagery.
I would definitely say
there's like cool art things happening, like the collages on the living people's faces. That's super fun.
Oh, yeah, the Land of the Living. I never got to that point before, so that was all new to me, and holy shit, I loved it.
I would definitely say, as somebody who is, I've been saying for years, I wouldn't say this looks bad at all. Like, you know, but I just have never appreciated Art Deco as a thing. So this does not grab me at all. I mean, it's not like I think it's ugly, but I don't care. Anyway,
Me too.
mass
I love Art Deco.
poisoning occurs on the Day of the Dead in the human world. And our good friend Grim Fandango attempts to head out to the site to grab a good client.
But Dom gave his driver the day off.
This begs the question, something that I do not understand. Is the Land of the Dead just a mirror of the Land of the Living? Because why does he have to go to this restaurant and be driven there?
Because you can't go to the Land of the Living on foot. You have to go in one of these cars. Because you can try to walk out of the bay door to the Land of the Living just as Manny, and he's like, I can't do that.
That is not how that happens. You can walk out to the freeway, and Manny says, Grim Fandango says, I'm not going to walk on the freeway like a fucking idiot.
That's a different place, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's not how you get to the Land of the Living, though.
Yes.
You can go on the freeway and go to a different part of the Land of the Dead, but that's not how you get to the Land of the Living.
The Land
What
of the Living
makes you
is
say that?
through the garage.
Yeah, because there's a door that says Land of the Living in the garage.
Yeah.
Okay, I missed
and
that.
Manny says people have tried to go on foot, but they never come back.
Oh.
Yeah,
They disappear.
and you see a car, like when you go down to the garage for the first time to actually go there, you see a car kind of like drive and spin out and go through a big like bay door. That's how you get to the Land of the Living, is through that door.
Okay, so I missed that. All right, that answers my question.
I love your receptionist. She's like the Ghostbusters receptionist, or basically any 80s show had this kind of receptionist, like a New Yorkie accent and big cat glasses.
I couldn't remember her name, so I didn't put her in the notes.
Oh, was it Eva?
Yep.
Yeah. I thought
She's got
I
red
assumed
hair
the whole
and
game.
she's sassy.
I assume the whole game take place here. I assume whole game like this. Johnny wrong.
I'm glad it's not, because I found this first area pretty lame, but Rubicava was okay.
Manuel Grim Fandango seems to really be like a ladies' man too.
Yes, especially in the next
he gets a
town.
lot of affection from the ladies.
Vanessa, how do you feel about Manny?
I adore Manny.
Do you mean Grim?
I
Grim.
think that he is just the cutest little skeleton that you ever did see. He's short when he goes to do his job.
I love him taking off
he
his
has
lifts.
to wear lifts, so it's more intimidating.
No, they're not lifts, they're stilts.
He's suave, and I can totally see why all the ladies go bananas for old Fandango.
So Grim heads down to the garage to his car, but he learns that Domino has sent his driver home for the day, sabotaging him. Desperate to bag a good client, Grim talks to the garage's mechanic, Glottis, who is an elemental brought into existence only to drive and fix cars.
This?
Talks into driving him, that is.
Yeah. Let's talk about Glottis's entrance, because Glottis enters into the screen and the game, but first, out of a tiny little shack.
Out of his little shack, yeah.
I mean, that's how I enter into any place, butt first. Shaking his little booty.
Just squeezing yourself out of a little door.
I love Glottis. He's adorable.
I didn't expect him to be a raging alcoholic and gambling addict, though.
Glottis has some impulse control.
Spending a year with Grim Fandango, the skeleton would turn anybody into both of those things.
Wow. No, he's adorable. And I love how the man's trying to get him down because he can't drive the cars because he's too big. And then you can comfort him by saying, no, Glottis, it's the cars. The cars are too small.
Yeah. I love that dialogue choice because he says that he can't drive because he's too big. And you get the option of saying, like, you're not too big. You just have self-image issues. Or... You're not too big, you're just right. Or you're not too big, the cars are too small.
So, and I'll just say, I hate Glottis. He sucks. I hate
Why do you hate Glottis? He's your best
just
friend.
A big man child that is just like, I don't know, man. Like, it's, to me, I thought it was borderline offensive. Like, is this guy...
He just
like challenged in some way. I don't know how comfortable I am with the way Glottis is portrayed or the way you treat him, frankly, because you do trick him into modifying.
A lot.
Yeah, you do. Grim does absolutely love to just use and abuse this guy.
I feel like Grim is... He does use people. Like, there's several times where it's like, oh, I think you got that person killed.
Yeah, he's a scummy scumbag. He convinces Glottis to drive him to the site of the mass poisoning. Glottis agrees, but only if he can get a work order to modify the car so that he can fit in it. And in order to do that, you have to get a work slip signed by the boss. So we head back up and talk to Eva, who calls the boss to say Grim needs a work slip signed, and he just repeats the same thing over and over again, which is something along the lines of, I'm too busy. Eventually, you work your way around to the outside of the building and find a rope made, I think, of ties tied together.
It is ties, yeah.
Leading up to the boss's window, and you can climb up there and realize that he's not even there. This is just an automated message that he has set up to tell people to leave him alone. And there's
a real Ferris Bueller setup that he did.
Yeah, it is. You can change the settings so that he tells Eva, the secretary, the automated message tells Eva to just sign it. And then you head back around, have her sign it, and Glottis mods the car by cutting the top off and turning it into a wagon, basically, so that he can sit in it with each arm going through one of the windows so he can hold the...
He does do... Oh, no. He doesn't do the full modification yet, right? Because
no, that's later.
Yeah, that's later.
So Glottis drives Grim to the poisoning, and Grim does nab himself a client, but when he gets back to the office with him and looks him up in the system, it's simply not a good one. Yes.
Let's talk about what did you think of the art style, and especially the living? Did you try to scare the living?
I fucked up and went straight to the...
cheapo if you do it.
I fucked up and went straight to the little caterpillar thing in the middle of the room, and that ended that, so... Barely got a look at it.
But what
if if you scare all of them, you get a little achievement.
Yeah. The art style. Oh, you go ahead.
They're basically collages. So each living person's face is like cut up magazine pictures put together to look like a face.
Yeah, the whole like scene is just different layers of things pasted on top of one another. Like the background, the people
really
in the scene,
cool.
the foreground. It's really cool looking.
Is there? I hope there's more. Okay, I guess I don't want it spoiled, but I do hope there's more of this because I want to see more of this.
Yeah, we don't see any of this again in the chunker.
It's very cool, and I wouldn't have minded a whole game that looks like this. It's something that you don't really see in video games.
I watch a lot of 80s commercials, and this was a huge style, like sort of the second generation of MTV style, like late 80s, had a lot of collages and mixed media. This was really big in like pop art in the 80s and early 90s, and
Like
it's really cool seeing.
That's probably why I don't like it.
But it's very much like that, yeah.
Matt, I'm shaking my head at him.
It's very creepy and unsettling, and I sort of like the idea of the living looking creepy and unsettling to the dead.
Yeah. It's fun.
So
Yeah, Manny's like, ugh, the living creep me out.
yeah, Grim thinks that the living are creepy. So Grim manages to nab himself a client, but oh my fucking god! All right, get out of here,
The problem, you did notice that he gets overtaken by the other guy, Domino, in his super fast car. And Domino did give his driver the other day off, so they do seem to be stacking the odds against poor Grim here.
Yeah.
So we help this guy,
Yep.
and the guy that we get from the poisoning is a real loser. He's not eligible for any kind of premium package. It's another bummer.
He gets he's eligible for a walking
cane.
stick, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, this guy's the one who gets the shipped in the coffin.
Oh, that's
where you have
right.
to
Oh,
put
yeah.
in this-
That's
The guy-
right.
Yeah,
The opening features the guy that we give the walking stick to.
The
A
walking
walking
stick,
stick with
yeah.
a compass.
That's
at
the
top of
guy.
it.
That's the guy who you meet later, right?
That's the guy you meet in the diner when you first get to the next place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this guy, yeah, you're right. He gets put into the shipping crate, which
I love
seems
this.
to suit him. He complains that he just wants lots of rest and quiet. And
I mean,
That's
then
what he
again,
gets.
they use packing foam to glue him into place, and he does not seem to like that.
Yeah.
And in fact, that feels like an actual nightmare to me. I would lose my
yeah,
mind.
Yeah. Where are they shipping him to?
To the ninth underworld.
Yeah.
Oh, well, like, wouldn't that be... So that's better than walking, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a long
I think it's
time.
a step above. Yeah.
It's still going to take a long time?
I'm not sure if it's better than walking.
I agree.
But, like,
Encased in this
wouldn't...
thing.
Ostensibly, shipping would be faster, right?
Yes, it
Well,
is
depends.
faster.
I mean, maybe it's going to
Yeah.
sit in customs for months.
Yeah, that's
though.
a good point. Who knows? Who knows?
These people don't seem to have planes either, so...
They have zeppelins.
They do have zeppelins.
Anyway, frustrated Grim is frustrated with Dom's proclivity to always land the big clients, and he resolves to hack into the system and get one for himself by hook or by crook, he says. Okay, he doesn't say that. This involves a lot of puzzling around with the office's mnemonic tube system. Do you guys want to talk about this? I didn't write anything about it.
Mnemonic tube? A mnemonic tube.
Mnemonic tube? Mnemonic tube?
Pneumatic. Pneumatic.
There's not an A in that word. Or did I spell it wrong?
Pneumatic.
Or rather, I think the...
No, you just have the wrong word.
yeah, I think the autocorrect may have fucked me.
Yeah.
Oh, mnemonic.
Yeah, mnemonic
Johnny
is...
Mnemonic?
Yeah. That's a way that you remember things, through mnemonic devices.
Well,
Yeah,
gang,
the mnemonic
that's
tube,
how you
the
know that Matthew wrote his own notes and
telephonic-
didn't just pull a fucking guide up and copy paste it into the fucking
No,
document like a
Jim used-
scumbag.
80 gallons of water to AI generate his guides.
Anyway, we use the pneumatic tube system. We have to do some puzzling around here. There's like a main room for it. There's a elemental with a big butt that is running it. We kind of have to trick him in there, trick him into letting us in, lock the door while it's open so it doesn't lock.
We have to get some
balloons. We gotta go see a clown and get some balloons.
Yep, we gotta see a clown and get some condoms. I mean balloons. Clown. You can get a balloon that is a cat, a balloon that is a dingo. These are, balloon Robert animals. Frost. You can get a balloon animal that is Robert Frost. And finally you can get dead worms, which are just deflated balloons, of which you will need two. You take those back.
You can also get some bread.
Yeah, that's well, you can't just get some. You have to if you want to continue playing this game.
It's true.
Just like I wondered about this. I picked up that fire extinguisher off the wall because I was just grabbing everything I could. Can you get out to the petrified forest without that thing and it's just game over?
No, you grab it. You actually grab it automatically.
Grab it.
Yeah.
Oh.
When that guy catches on fire.
Okay. I mean, I think I grabbed it myself, but who knows?
Yeah, I grabbed it myself as well. But if you don't have it in your inventory, Manny will grab it when what's his name? Sergio, the guy who catches fire. Manny will automatically grab it if you don't have it.
Demon guy.
Yeah, I love that guy. I love put upon characters in these games.
There seems to be a real some blue collar unrest in this world.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's kind of a big theme of the game.
Yeah.
So you use a couple of these deflated balloons. You fill them up with the packing foam from that room. You dump them down your pneumatic tube, and then that causes a problem, which allows you to kind of sneak in and snatch a client for yourself. Uh-oh. Finally, we find one. It is a woman named Mercedes Meche Colomar. Is Meche a shortened nickname for Mercedes?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a Matt to Matthew kind of thing, I think.
It rhymes with leche.
Like a Jack from John,
I never understood that one.
No, nobody does. It doesn't make any sense.
Should I start calling myself Jack?
I think that would be
sound
great.
Like a cool protagonist.
Now, take this into consideration. Bears and Games Neo with Jack Brandon. Oh. Mm-hmm. Or continue using
Jack
the child's derivative version of the name Jonathan. Go ahead. It's your choice.
Wow. You think I can't be professional and be named Johnny? What about Johnny Cash?
Anywho.
So, wait, you said Meche is short for...
Meche.
I think so.
It is a Spanish word, too.
Oh, yeah?
It's a conjugation of a verb. I don't know if this is intentional or not. This is just a thing, but it means to, stuff. Like, if you're, stuffing a pepper or something like that. If you're preparing something and you're stuffing something into something else.
See that being on purpose? Maybe.
I'm just saying it's a conjugation of a verb.
The infallible Google AI says that Meche is a nickname most commonly associated with Mercedes.
Okay.
Which is why from now on, when I meet somebody that drives a Mercedes, I will be referring to their car as a Meche.
Nice Meche.
Mm-hmm. I assume that the film's going to keep on doing, or not the film, the game is going to keep on doing this.
No. I think you were right the first time. This is a film.
It's referencing so many classic films. Like, it's kind of starts off with a Maltese Falcon sort of feel, and then gets it's starting to get into. You ever see Vertigo, Matt? The whole Meche thing is very Vertigo.
I have really wanted to see that for a long time and never gotten around to it.
It's good, and then it turns into Casablanca.
Grim Fandango bags. I've said bags several times tonight for no real reason. Grim Fandango bags a client, a woman named Mercedes Meche Colomar, and she seems to fit the bill of a good client. She's led a good life. She, did charity. She didn't commit any crimes. And he's excited that he's going to finally, gotten himself a client that he's going to be able to get on that. Number 9. Oh, I'll just roll back here and skip a part and say that after the poisoning, when Grim could not get a good deal for the client that he found, Don Corpovera, whatever his fucking name was, the boss, Don Copel, threatens to fire him if he does not get a good client by the end of the month. So he is unable to land Meche a good package, even though he's sure she should get one. And he is confused and frustrated, but quickly caught by Don Copel and Domino for his little scheme to nab himself a good client and thrown into a locked room in the garage. Uh-oh.
Well, he sort of goes off to try to, like, get her the package she deserves. And then he's garaged. And while he's garaged, we learn that she felt so bad about, like, making things difficult for him in his job that she just started walking.
Yeah, we find out that he just starts walking. You do get reamed out by your boss first, and then you get locked in the garage to await punishment. But someone shows up to let him out. At first, Grim thinks that he's, like, talking to himself, which is really weird because it is just another man. He's been in this room for 10 minutes and he is already losing his fucking mind.
How did Glottis fit in this room?
He really.
I mean, we saw him squeeze out.
Yeah. He squeezes in. He takes up every little nook and cranny.
Poor guy.
So a man appears and lets us out of the room. His name is Sal, and he is the leader of a local revolution called the Lost Souls Alliance.
He's tall, he's dapper, and he's dressed like a revolutionary.
Yep, these people are
Yeah, you
all
also come
skeletons.
to find out he's like an underground figure. He's like a folk hero, basically.
Yeah.
For these downtrodden skeletons.
Sort of a Che Guevara kind of guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even say sort of. I would say that's the very direct inspiration that they have ripped off.
Direct analog,
for this.
yeah.
Sal tells Grim that there's more going on here than he realizes. And then Grim does find out that Don, Corporal, whatever, and Domino
Don Coble
are rigging the system to keep tickets onto the number 9 train back from the people that deserve them, and they're keeping them for a man named Hector Lemons, who is an underworld boss. Whoa.
Yeah. Because these tickets are like the most valuable thing in the underworld. And Manny is very confused at first. He's like, why would anyone be trying to amass wealth here? We're all just trying to move on to the next place.
Yeah.
And
But, I think it's a good story beat that's you would think so, but just like in right here in the land of the living, you got your dragons, right? Just gotta hoard that gold, no matter what that gold may be.
And I think that some souls have sort of figured that they can live, top of the food chain in this world, and that's what makes them happy.
So, while he was locked up, Meche started walking, and Grim is distraught about it. He and Glottis escape in their now even more souped up car. Now it is just straight up a hot rod with a weird
flames
seat,
on the side,
with a weird seat in the back for Grim to sit on, which is funny but odd.
This whole part right here, this forest part, felt so tacked on and
I agree.
Unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's such a weird detour for the narrative because nothing really happens.
Yeah. Well, so to clarify, Grim Fandango and Glottis head to the petrified forest to try and find Meche. But instead they just kind of make their way through it to the other side. Do we want to talk about the forest? I do think we should talk about the demon beavers.
I did like the Demon Beavers. I did like I got the puzzle wrong where you have to trick Glottis into being spun around. I got it wrong the first time. The guide that I used did not tell me how to do it properly. So I took a while trying to figure out, and then I found another guide that explained at least like, oh, make the tower shake and then get him up there. Yeah. But I felt so bad tricking him up there because he gets up there and he starts spinning. He's like, Manny, you promised.
Yeah. I love this. I loved it. I love abusing the poor, unwell wretches of the world like Glottis.
Yeah, Glottis is also going through a deep depression of sort of losing his job and his purpose in life.
Yeah,
he ripped his heart out.
That I didn't like that. There are these spider bats.
Yeah, spider
that
bats.
are like half spider, half bat that are super gross.
I love the animation, like just the great animation of him ripping his heart out and then immediately dying. Yeah. He doesn't die.
Yeah, I guess
he's just sleeping.
I guess the chain of events is that Grim starts walking and walks into the petrified forest and finds Glottis there. And Glottis crying rips his heart out.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Grim fetches his heart, puts it back in him, and is like, well, let's get out of here. And then we have a series of puzzles, one where Glottis has to put shocks on the car to make it through the forest, and you do that by ripping down a tower. I guess the petrified forest, they use the wood to make the buildings in
the marrow of
the city.
Wood.
Oh, that's right, the marrow. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
To make the wood in to make the buildings in the city, and you find one of these. It kind of looks like an oil pump, but like on a tree. And you then you get the shocks by trying to kill Glottis, and then there's a great Lost Forest section.
I didn't like that puzzle.
No.
The Chocobo hot and cold
directional sign. Yeah, here's the thing that pissed me off about this. If it was just the Chocobo hot and cold, I would have been fine. But the room you're in, or the level you're in, is surrounded by all these trees that you go in one and you get spat out another, and that has nothing to do with how you solve the puzzle, nor anything at all.
It really seems like it should, because you put down the sign, it spins around, and it points in a particular direction.
Yeah, so this is the mistake I made.
That it was pointing to the tunnel that you were supposed to go through.
Yep,
that's what you assume. Yeah,
but that is not the case.
No, instead it is Chocobo hot and cold.
Because the direction was never relative, seemingly, to any single cave. Yeah. So I would put it down and it would point towards a cave, but the closer I would get to that cave, I would put it down again and it would point a completely different direction. So I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing?
Mm-hmm. I also found it very difficult to see the signpost in the sort of wide view. It pulls the camera out really far to be walking around. You're sort of
it does. It's really hard to tell because the way that the arrow would position itself, sometimes it would be hard to tell if it was pointing up or down.
I'd already switched to PS5, but imagine trying to do this on Vita. You would not be able to do this puzzle on Vita.
Impossible. But yeah, eventually you get it to the spot that it's trying to hone in on, and then it spins around and reveals a secret underground passageway. Which just takes you to the next place. It's not anything that exciting.
It was weird. It automatically used a key, I guess, because I got confused. I was looking at a guide and it kind of skipped some steps, but it seems like Manny just unlocked the gate to drive through. I was very confused. But let's talk about those demon beavers, because they are on fire. They are from hell. They like to dip into the tar pits just for fun. They can do it because they're on fire. If they weren't on fire, they'd probably get stuck in the tar.
Mm-hmm. They make their beaver dam out of bones.
Mm-hmm. Bones? Bones? And there's a fun puzzle using the fire extinguisher on them.
Yeah, they seem to be murdering. They seem to be murdering the souls that pass through and making a fucking bridge out of them, or a dam out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the very few puzzles in this game that I was like, ooh, fun. where you throw a bone into the tar and a beaver jumps in after it, and then as it jumps in, you have to time it right and spray it with the fire extinguisher, and then it gets stuck and sinks. And once you've done that 3 times, you've cleared out all of the beavers on the dam and can drive over the dam as if it is a bridge.
Mm-hmm. We drive out to Rubikava. We want to go here because this is a place that all souls pass through on their way to the Ninth Underworld. We get there and it's very foggy and cloudy, and Manny goes wandering off into the fog and falls off a high wall into the water.
Yeah, he falls off of
before I did that,
seawall or something.
I did meet Barry from the beginning of the game, and he was telling me, "Oh, could you go find my wife? I'll hand out some photos. This is my wife. Please find her. I know she's waiting for me. She's very rich, so she has all my money.
My wife.
So
you guys heard that before?
No, what's that from?
It's from a movie.
Oh, I've heard of a wife.
Yeah, didn't you divorce her?
Anywho, yeah, you wander off of a seawall into the water, and you get saved by a cool, I don't know, dock master?
You captain?
Captain?
He's like a ship captain. He does seem like an old boat captain.
He does look like an old boat captain, but he sure ain't driving no boats.
Nope.
It's true.
But he's a total motorhead. He loves Glottis's souped-up car.
I love that when you try to interrupt their conversation, Glottis is like, "We're having a conversation here!" Also, maybe it's just me, and maybe this is part of the reason why I don't love Glottis like you 3 seem to. He sounds like Bobcat Goldthwait, and no thank you.
You don't like Bobcat Goldthwait? I don't think he sounds like Bobcat Goldthwait.
But he also, he loves driving his car so much. He gets really excited. His big giant tongue lolls out of his mouth and flaps around in the wind. And
Is he John DiMaggio?
Is that the voice actor? He gets a little, Mr. Toaded out, when Mr. Toad, gets motor car obsessed and is going poop poop all over the place.
Oh, yeah, where he's sitting in the car waiting for you. He's just going, vroom. I did date a guy who did that, so he really is like an ex-boyfriend of mine.
You learn a little about Rubikava and whatnot from the captain here, but first you need to go up to the top of this, I don't know what the hell it is. It's a staircase. And there's an automat, and inside you find a man mopping the floors, and this is whatever his fucking name was from the very beginning of the game that you sold the walking stick to. He's waiting here in Rubikava for his wife to pass through. He knows that she will be looking for him, and then if you talk to the captain while he's talking to Glottis, you find out that she just left town with another man.
You meet the captain when you accidentally fall into the water when you fall off a foggy dock.
Yep. We had a whole conversation about it, Jim. So, you can go back upstairs and tell him what has happened. He immediately decides to leave, hands you his mop, and says, "Here you go. You have a job." And then what happens?
We cut to 1 year later.
Whoa! Did this feel like Endgame to anybody else? Where it says 5 years later, and you're like, "What?"
I think it's a great smash cut because we got 1 year later. We're looking at the same automat, but now it says in big neon lights on it, Calaveras. And
Calavera Cafe.
I wonder where they got that name because I don't know what it's got to do with anything else in this game.
Well, it means skull, Matt.
Grim.
We zoom in on Grim, who is standing on the balcony of this establishment in a white tuxedo.
Yeah, in a white tux,
smoking a cigarette.
Man, it has the kind of where's Casablanca? Is that in
Morocco?
Which Morocco? Yeah. So it kind of has Moroccan doors, and of course the piano and everything. This is Casablanca. It's totally
Rick's Cafe.
Yes,
Rick's
absolutely.
American Cafe.
And he's dressed in the same white tuxedo.
And speaking of, boy, you can tell this game was made in the 90s because old Grim Fandango is smoking non-stop.
Yeah. There was some controversy about that when this game came out, but
He's
LucasArts
dead.
pointed out that everyone, who smokes in the game is already dead. So,
if you do watch old film noir movies and movies from that era, it's like, man, I was thinking about that as I was playing this game. Like, man, if I lived in the 20s or the 30s or the 40s, I would hate. Like, imagine trying to quit smoking. Everyone is smoking, and
but you would never try to quit
quit.
smoking because you don't know it's bad for you. You think it's a great pastime.
I feel like you'd know because of the coughing fits you get. Like, it's a bit of a clue.
The COPD.
I know people today that still smoke and have constant coughing fits, and are like, no. It's got nothing to do with the cigarettes.
Can I also say this game was directed by Tim Schafer, the guy who runs Double Fine? Did we say that?
Well, the remaster. Yeah, the remaster that I assume we're all playing the remaster is really, even though it was originally a LucasArts game, the George Lucas owned company, it is now Double Fine bought the rights to it and is a Double Fine game.
I will say that, like, I think, for my money, the Double Fine games and the Portal games are the most consistently well-written series of games that I can think of. Even though, like, a lot of the Double Fine games aren't, like, connected by, like, characters and stuff, the writing is very similar in all of them, and it's always super funny.
This reminds me a lot of Broken Age, which I
People
love.
Hate
that
Broken
game.
Age. People hate
it's
Broken
good.
Age. Oh,
did you ever
man.
play it?
I never played Broken Age, yeah.
And with Broken Age, I never had to look at a guide. Like, the puzzles
That's the one
were...
where they tried to go, like, a little more drama, right?
It's a little more... No, it's still comedy. It's still fun. And it's that's the one that's got, like... It was released in 2 parts because they kickstarted it, and they couldn't finish the whole game from the Kickstarter. They could only do half of it. And that's why I think that was a big part of it, that they only... They did it in halves, and it took like 4 years or something.
Oh, wow, that sucks.
But Vanessa, did you ever play Broken Age?
I don't think I did.
You should. I think if you like this, it's very... I mean, it's the same crew, the staff that made it. It's very... It's... And I think it's... You know what? We should do it for a bonus or something. It's not long. It would be fun.
Hey, Matt takes a month off. So... Grim has been Grim, who is now the owner of a fine restaurant / gambling establishment called Capybara in Rubalcaba, has been waiting for Meche for the last year. At the beginning of the chunker of the year, I guess, here, he learns that Don, his old boss, has been sprouted.
Wait, this guy wasn't... Oh, yeah, his boss was sprouted. Yes, that is correct. I'm still confusing the boss and Domino in my mind.
One's Donna, with an N, and the other one is Dama, N-O. So...
Yeah. Manny sort of talks to this coat check girl who works for him, and you can tell he's really hung up on Meche, because they have this dialogue of, like, do you think this is going to be the night that she comes in? And the coat check girl's like, oh, come on. Yes, that, no.
I love
you ask me that every night.
Yeah.
There is a domestic violence joke about Lupe later, because you're talking to Olivia about her, and she's like, I want to strangle that girl. And Manny's like, yeah, I tried that. It doesn't work. And I'm like, oh, yikes. I love Lupe. Why would you try to strangle her? She's so fun.
Have a windpipe. It's fine.
Yeah, I love Lupe's, her predilection for systems.
Yeah, organization.
Her coat check system. What's her other system later? She has another system that she has. But yeah, I love her systems.
So Grim has learned that Dawn has been sprouted, which I
guess means they shoot flowers into you and you die.
Yeah, well, you see that in a cutscene, right? What is that all about?
Seems to kill him.
It's basically the way to kill, the skeletons. They make sort of a reference later to them, like, pushing up daisies, so I think that's...
Oh, is that where it's from?
Sort of where it comes from, something like that.
Basically,
I love it.
They get turned into little
It's really
gardens.
cool. Yeah, I think I
posted.
And at one point, Manny has a gun pointed at him. It's got flowers drawn on the side. But I love that. Like, there's a really sad scene where someone gets sprouted, and even the scene where your boss gets sprouted. Like, I like that. I thought it was just I like the art a lot in this game. I thought that was a really clever. I don't know if it has roots in Aztec or current Mexican religion, or if this is just a wholly invented thing. But it's really cool.
So Manny, he is told by Lupe that there's a woman looking for him. He runs outside, sees a silhouette, and starts apologizing to it. And then, as he gets closer, realizes that it is a bird sitting on a pair of binoculars. But the bird squawks at him in Meche's voice, saying
yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know what was up with that, but it's like, why did you make me walk? You abandoned me.
I mean, it's kind of Vertigo-y.
Yeah.
I thought that's kind of what they're going for.
So Manny looks through the binoculars and sees Meche being dragged onto a boat by Domino. He runs down, but he just narrowly misses. Well, not even narrowly. He jumps up onto the ramp as it's being pulled up, and Meche appears in the doorway and throws a bottle of champagne at him.
Yeah.
And he falls off into the water. But he's dragged out by his sailor friend.
Yep, the captain again.
Yep.
So Grim Fandango has resolved to catch up to Meche, and he's leaving town tonight, baby. He asks the captain friend if there are any other ships heading to that destination. I don't remember what the name of the destination was that the boat that Meche left on was.
Puerto something. It's a port.
Oh, Puerto Colombo.
Yeah.
And he does learn that there is a merchant ship that will be heading there in the morning, but that he will not be allowed on it because it is a merchant ship and not a passenger ship. He grills the dockmaster and learns 3 things that would need to happen in order for him to get on the ship. Number 1, Glottis would need to sign on as the ship's engineer, which they need, but he has to bring his own tools. So you're going to need tools for Glottis. Number 2, he would need to replace someone, and only a sailor, and only one person hasn't made it on board yet.
Naranya.
And number 3...
Naranya, the person who runs the mess. And Manny's like, that's perfect. I'm a restaurateur.
Yeah. And number 3, he would need to have a union card. You cannot sail on a merchant marine ship if you are not in the union. That's a real thing, actually. I knew a guy that was a merchant marine, and I thought it was fascinating and interesting when I was in my early 20s, and I was like, I would like to go to there, please. Help me get a job. I want to go sail.
They don't make much money. That's the weird part, is they're not paid well at all. Like, the only thing is you have no expenses. During that time, you have no expenses, but they're paid like shit.
Yeah, they're not paid super well.
But you did have to be a member of the guild or whatever it was. It wasn't a union. Maybe it was. I don't know. But and he was basically like, and there's no fucking way. So, cool. Anyway.
Well, how'd he get in then?
I don't know.
How did he get
in? He was grandfathered in or something. Like his parents were. Anywho, so we're going to have to get those 3 things. Now, I'm going to run through the first one, and then you guys can fill in the blanks. First up, getting the union card. Back at Grimm's nightclub, there's a little green man with a counterfeiting machine that he's been using to counterfeit gambling tickets at the local racetrack. He agrees to print a union card for Mr. Grim Fandango, but only if he gets back a large satchel of money that he lost at said racetrack. Grim heads to the track and retrieves the case of money by hiding in an empty barrel of wine, which, when taken down to the wine cellar, gives him access to the room where the money is kept. Whoa.
That's such an oversimplification of what happens.
You're skipping over the whole forklift part.
And he's also skipping over the can opener.
If you don't like
and
my
the
notes,
litter box.
write them your fucking self.
No, it's fine, Matt. I totally understand. Yeah, and trapping the waiter in the claustrophobic space.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you have to trap the waiter in the closet, and with the waiter in the closet, Glottis comes in because he needs his wine refilled, sees the vat of wine, drinks all of it, and then you can use your can opener that you got from where the giant litter box is for the giant cat fights. To open
They're
the
not
vat
cat
and then
fights,
sneak inside.
they're cat races.
Cat races. And then you jump into the vat of wine, which is then taken to the basement, like the bottom floor, and you have to access a forklift, put it on the elevator, and then position the forklift in such a way to where it halts the elevator between the top and bottom floors, and then you have to force it open with the forklift.
Yeah. That there's two puzzles in year 2 that I have no idea how you would solve. And one is that full series of the events, and the other is how to figure out the date to put onto the fake ticket.
The date I
Oh,
know
that's-
because you
That one you
get
have to
the
piece together from a few different things.
no, there's a picture.
okay.
You get a picture of a
Yeah,
cat
the-
race, and all of them are on there in different ways.
Well, the picture tells you the race number, and it tells you
that
like
it's
the
sixth
day
race.
that it's so it tells you it's a 6th race, and also if you read what's on the Zeppelin, it tells you like the name of the Zeppelin.
Yes,
And
but
there's a conversation that you have with another character that says like, I proposed to my girlfriend the day that this Zeppelin crashed, and she said no, and he mentions what day it was or what week it was maybe, or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was like the second week of the races, and then
Yeah.
you know it's a Tuesday because
It's
the
Kitten Hat Day or
man,
something.
yeah, it's Cat Hat Day. So the man
Yeah.
in the race
It's like it's
counter
Cat Hat
tells
Day
you
on
he
Tuesday.
gives out
There-
cat hats on
people with cat
Tuesdays.
hats.
would
Yeah.
never make it through this game without a
Me
guide.
too.
Also,
Me
worth
too.
noting that before any of this occurs, you do find a VIP ticket for the cat race track, and you give it to
Matt.
Glottis, who is now
Don't give it to Glottis.
at the
Glottis
beginning
says he
of
can't go
this-
back there because he has a problem.
At the beginning
He's
of
like,
this-
I can't go back there.
at the beginning of
Because
this
he's like-
year. Glottis is now working in your club as the piano player, and he does sing you a song that I could not listen to because
Bone,
I hate
was it
this
the
guy. I hate his guts.
boneyard?
At the bone zone. I wish I was driving my car at the bone zone.
I love him. He's great.
It's great. It's good. I'm glad. I'm happy for you and your happiness.
How do you feel about Jack Black?
He's fine.
Okay.
He's not done anything to me personally. He's never shoved me or pushed me or broken my ankle.
That Tenacious D
or-
movie is a good time if you like a raunchy, stupid comedy.
If you like
Well,
stoner
it's just-
comedies, that's one of the best ones, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho,
I like Year Zero.
I've never seen that actually.
it's
okay.
it's pretty bland. Pretty bland and pretty bad. Pretty boring. Anyway, you know what's really good that we all love? That Jack Black was in the Minecraft movie because we're all 14-year-olds. Chicken Gallop,
Yay.
am I right,
Minecraft
guys? Chicken jockey.
jockey.
Whoa!
Chicken jockey.
Were you guys all chicken jockeying in the theater with all your little teenage bros? I know you were.
Lava
I
hot
had,
chicken. Lava hot
Barely
chicken.
managed to process the Peaches song, which was like last year's Jack Black
That was like
thing
3
that
years
everyone
ago.
was obsessed with.
I did. I don't think it was.
Now
Last
there's some
year.
new thing.
I did really like that Peaches song, actually. That was fucking fun. Just a fun, stupid song in the middle of the Mario movie. I needed more of that and less of the stupid montages and the stuff set in the real world. Anyway, so we get our union card by abusing Glottis's alcoholism and locking a man that is claustrophobic in a confined space. Cool. Grim Fandango. He's a good guy. Second up, we have to make sure that last sailor doesn't make it to the dock. And we find him in the tattoo parlor. Whoa. You can drug him with some, what I believe was dirty dishwater from the local cafe. We'll circle back to the
It was
cafe.
not.
Relax.
It wasn't dirty dishwasher. It was hookah juice.
Water.
Because you go in.
Oh,
and they
that's
are-
nasty.
I mean, maybe I just
Yeah.
misunderstood
Yeah.
it, but it looked to me like you filled a turkey baster with water from a sink full of dirty dishwater.
But we saw the waiter when we first walked in there empty the hookah into the dirty.
Okay.
so
I did
nasty.
not pick up that was a hookah. The best part about that little exchange actually is that the guy's like, I can't show you our secret recipe. And Grim's like, you stole it from me.
Yeah. The guy is using the hookah juice to make cocktails, which he passes out, and then it makes people immediately pass out cold. Let's talk about this bar, though. I don't want to, gloss over how amazing this space is.
It's fine. I guess we
cafe.
won't circle around, and we'll just talk about it now.
Let's talk about it now.
It's called the Blue Death? The Blue...
Danube.
Blue...
Oyster. Crush?
Blue... Orchid...
Clues?
Blue...
Okay, it's the Blue something. The name does not matter. Yeah, go ahead, talk about it.
It's super rad. It's super great. It has a bunch of...
Is this the part of the game when you
around.
messaged the rest of us and said that this game is so cool?
It's the coolest game we've ever played. And it's open mic poetry night. And you can go up onto the stage and do an amazing beatnik poem.
I do like that the skeletons, when you perform one, they
snap their little skeleton fingers.
snap at you.
It is a dialogue tree option, so you just choose whatever line feels the best to go next, and you can loop this basically infinitely. Go, Daddy.
Blue casket.
Zoom, zoom. I reach out. Weariness. Oblivious. Be confused. Ring, ring. The phone is for you.
Yeah, this all tracks
you
as
hear
to things
what
that
I'm
you would
not
think were
saying?
cool that are the opposite of
I
cool.
love that. I like making fun of beat poetry. It's like how when I was a kid, I loved bad art movies. But then that started getting me into real art movies because I ironically enjoyed them, but then I started actually enjoying them.
Wow.
That's how it gets you, man.
I think the one time I've enjoyed beat poetry in film is So I Married an Axe
Yeah,
Murderer.
exactly.
Harriet, sweet Harriet.
She was a thief like Omar Sharif. She stole my lawn and my cat.
That's a good movie.
A couple of things happen in this cafe that are pretty notable.
Man.
The first of which is that there is a journalist with a camera hanging out by the door to the, I don't know, student lounge.
Oh, her name was Lola.
Teacher's lounge.
She was a showgirl, but that was several years ago when she used to have a
Are
show.
you still doing your beat poetry, or can I continue with the quest log?
Now she's dead.
Good. I'm glad. I hope it hurts. A couple of notable things happen here. The first of which
didn't hurt. It didn't hurt at all.
Grandia reference.
it's so much more fun to be the person that gets to sit back and not read the notes than it is to be the person that
reading
has to
them.
sit here and read the notes, because you're just trying to move things along and everybody's just saying stupid shit. And
Yeah,
listen,
it's
I
hard.
love,
It never gets any easier.
I love doing that from the other side.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
hate
It's real
doing it
fun.
from this side.
Yeah, John, next time it's your turn.
No, I'll never find out. I only fuck around.
Oh, good one. All right. There is an important beat here, which is that there is an investigative journalist. She's got a camera. There's a man that she, I guess, is in love with. Or maybe she's in love with...
She does. Yeah, she's in love with the lawyer, Nick.
No.
She's not in love with the lawyer.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's in love with the
crime
owner
boss?
of the cat racetrack, who is the boyfriend
Yes.
of the owner of the beatnik bar.
No. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Do you
ever meet- you
Yes.
never meet-
Yes.
No. But he's
Yes.
also sleeping with the girl?
Yes.
Because the whole thing is that the lawyer from the cat race place and some girl come out of a closet or something where they've been smooching it up, and she
Yeah.
takes a picture.
It's not some girl. It's Olivia, who was the woman who was proposed to via Zeppelin before it went down in flames. She rejected the proposal. She was gifted the Beatnik bar.
Oh, and Olivier is the owner. Okay. For some reason, I got it. I got you.
Do you meet that mob boss guy? The one who proposed to Olivia?
Yeah, we go talk to him in his office.
Yeah.
I don't think did I ever talk to him? I feel like I never actually talked to him.
You actually have to, come to think of
I
it.
No,
I think you do to get
you see him at least when you see him at the end when you sell the thing? No, the VIP ticket gets canceled.
I think there's a cutaway to
the VIP ticket gets canceled.
I never actually
cuts
talked
away
to
him being like, "We're going to talk to Grim Fandango about his debts."
Yeah.
And kick that idiot Glottis the fuck out of my club.
Yeah,
I
if you
skipped
talked to
that
him
part.
earlier, he'll say that. Yeah, you can go talk to him and be like, "You need to cut Glottis off. He's doing nothing but drinking and drinking," and he says, "No, Glottis is half owner of your club, and he has put up your club as collateral against his bar tab."
Oh no!
No.
All right, so we are mixing things around, and I'm sure it's confusing to listen to. I apologize, listeners. So you go to this Blue Casket Club, and there is a journalist who has a crush on this mob boss and intends to show that his fiance is cheating on him with his own lawyer. They come stumbling out of a closet where they've been necking, and she takes a pick and runs. The lawyer runs after her. We get to chit-chat with the fiance for a while, who owns this little cafe or whatever the fuck it is.
One thing I find really funny
good chat.
About the female characters is they have like bone boobs. They have skeleton boobs.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that, but you're right.
They have breasts, but like they are skeletons. So,
I think that they all just had implants in life, which don't degrade.
You think they're just silicone?
Okay, hang on. The implication when you say that is that these are their rotted corpses. But the person that we go pick up from the poisoning that just happened is also a skeleton man.
I guess that's true, but I believe that any like metallic implants or silicone that Skeleton Man had in his body would go with his
Oh my
skeleton.
God, imagine having a pacemaker just having that rattling around in your ribcage for eternity.
Or like
pins in your knees.
Don't you have like screws in your ankle? Do you think
I do.
you'll take your screws with you? One thing I was gonna say when Manny cuts you see him cut the guy open at the beginning in the diner after the poisoning, he cuts him out of the bag. I assumed that he was using his scythe and he's cutting him out of his skin. And like because the skeleton pops out.
But it's clearly like a cocoon.
I thought it was
really.
Just
It looks like a sleeping bag.
Yeah, it looks like a body bag, but I think Jim's right. It's his.
I think Jim is right.
Representation of his skin.
All like a body bag. It looks like a sleeping bag.
Yeah, it does.
Body bag.
But it's got like his face on it.
Bag?
I don't think that a body bag is tan in color. And does not have a zipper up the front. Maybe I've just seen too much TV.
I mean, guys, anything is a body bag if you put
try
it
hard enough, right? All right. We have a fun conversation with the owner of this cafe. You can request that she go read some beat poetry. She has what I thought was a 10 out of 10 line about like, if I, the owner of the cafe, go up and do beat poetry, then it's like this place is just a shrine to me. And you can be like, yeah, but do it. And she's like, yeah, okay. It's pretty good. You can actually get her to do it about 10 times. And I know that because at this point, for some reason, I forgot what color the highlighted text was versus the non-highlighted text, and accidentally chose read another one 10 solid fucking times. And in case you guys are curious, her final poem does mention a Grim Fandango, which is weird because that's the name of the main character of the game. But
wow, and the game itself.
Yeah, well, yes.
One thing I love is that if you do your beatnik poem and then ask her to go up and do a poem, she will do your poem.
Oh, wow.
That you just did.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
So they only
really
wrote
cool.
so many. All right, back to the main plot. We meet a sailor at a tattoo parlor, and we drug him with some dirty dishwater from the Blue Lagoon Cafe so that we can steal his
casket.
dog tags. Don't correct me. So that we can steal his dog tags while he's out cold. Then we head to the morgue, and we plant the dog tags on a body. Now, before we did this, obviously, duh, we finagled a metal detector out of a racetrack staff member who really wanted to strip search us. Anyway,
Gloss over
we
the
have
romance
the. I
between
said
Manny
we'll
and
circle
the
back
strip-
around.
But we're here now.
No,
This is when it happens.
no, we're at the morgue where we have planted the dog tags on a corpse. We
have
give
to
the
get
metal detector to the mortician.
No, we have to get the
we
metal
have to get the
detector
metal
first.
I already said
first.
how we
We
got
have
the
to
metal detector. So
No, you didn't.
I
You
did.
glossed
We get the
over
metal
it.
detector from the security lady.
Yeah, but let's talk about the security lady who wants
Yeah,
to
we
strip
have
search
to.
Manny.
I got a great achievement here.
all right, I can recognize when I've made a mistake. Next week, I will copy a fucking game facts guide, and you people can talk about every single puzzle to your heart's content.
Yay!
So
Tell
we
us about
give
your
the metal
great
detector
achievement,
to the to the coroner, and he
No,
finds the
we don't
dog
have the
tags
metal detector.
on the body, and he immediately turns around and calls the docs and says, "Oh, bad news! That sailor is dead. Sad." Incapacitated because we drugged him, and presumed dead because we tricked the coroner. The deed is done, and we have a spot on the ship.
I have a question.
Denied.
Jim, can
Next
you tell us
up.
about how you got the metal detector?
There's so when you're on your way to finish the like little coroner's quest, you run into the security lady who's the security for what's this cat place called?
The Cat Cafe.
The cat.
Oh, the cat
cafe?
I
tracks?
thought she was the security for the
Cat
Zeppelin.
tracks.
I don't know what she's
Oh,
the
was she
security
Zeppelin
for.
security? I thought she
Yeah.
was. Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
she's the Zeppelin security.
Okay. Well, you like try to go up the stairs and you set off the metal detector, and she is obviously very familiar with Grim Fandango, and she makes him empty all of his pockets, so you see like all of your items laid out on your desk, and then she says that she has to take you in the back and search you.
I love
only if you
this
set off
scene.
the metal detector without something obvious. So you have to chug some tequila.
Oh,
with
that's
gold
right,
flakes in
yeah.
it first.
Yeah,
That's just
You have
Goldschlager.
to drink the alcohol with the gold. Yeah, you have to drink that and then set off the metal detector again. And so she has to search you. She takes you in the back and searches you, but she starts just like talking.
Yeah,
just,
she
like
just
talking
talks.
about her family and her ranting. And if you let her go long enough to the point where she starts crying, you can interrupt her with some dialogue that says, since you're crying, I'll just go ahead and take the metal detector from you. And she gets so pissed off at you, but you get a nice little achievement for interrupting her with that piece of
Yeah,
you also
I,
can get praise from AI Daddy, aka an achievement, if you let her continue talking through her whole set of dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked for the metal detector pretty quickly, and she got furious, and she's like, "Men are all interested in just one thing, except for you,
Yeah.
and all you're interested in is this goddamn metal detector."
Which she then takes and throws out the window, and it falls into the giant box of poop-filled kitty litter. Super gross, super unfun.
You have to go down there and use your scythe, which I love that Manny always has his scythe on him.
Yeah, I do. I like his collapsible scythe. Also,
Yeah.
my son was sitting in the room with me watching me play the game while I had the whole "I really want to strip search you" conversation, and that was fun. He said sarcastically and with a little dread in his voice.
Well, they don't got no junk. They're just skeletons.
That's true.
So it's fine.
Yeah, it really makes the whole like attraction and relationship thing kind of weird and creepy. Like, what you doing? Just pushing your teeth together? Is that how they kiss?
Demisexual, man.
They just bang their gross, rotting old teeth together.
Oh, can you thinking of people clanking their teeth together like makes my mouth hurt. What else?
So,
may I continue with the walkthrough, or would you guys like to talk about more puzzles?
Yeah. We need to get tools for Glottis. I feel like this is important to mention because you go to like the dock working part of this area, and you run into these. They're like bee demons.
They're called worker bees.
Yeah, called worker bees. Oh well, I will say first, you have to talk to some beatniks. You have to impress some beatniks at the beatnik bar in order to steal their book or borrow their book about communism.
Yeah.
It is just the Communist Manifesto.
Yes.
You impress them with a letter that you have from Sal, the revolutionary.
I love the CV leader guy. When he's trying to come up with the words to describe the situation, it's like, we need to take something. And
Sal believes that MANNY is working for the revolution, which MANNY doesn't seem particularly interested in, but
no.
He keeps sending him messages and is like, Agent Calvera.
One of the most valuable assets to the revolution.
Well, you got in those pigeon eggs, which we completely skipped over.
Yeah, see, we don't talk about every puzzle. We can go back and talk about the pigeon eggs if you want to.
Not really.
And making a dental impression of Manny's teeth.
Oh, yeah. Using the mouth guard from your coworker's office. So yeah, we run into we have to impress these beatniks with this letter, and we get them to let us borrow their communist manifesto.
Beatniks, get it? Because they're bees?
I don't think the beatniks are bees.
No, they must be, because that's the pun.
The beatniks are skeletons, and their money.
But they're bee skeletons, right?
Yeah. Oh, the bones are their money.
Missed opportunity, LucasArts.
So you go talk to the worker bees. If you go talk to the worker bees before, what one of them will say is like, there's just so much like turmoil happening inside of me, and I don't like the way I'm being treated, and I want things to change, but I don't know how to articulate what it is that I want. And then he gets the Communist Manifesto, and it says workers should seize the means of production, and he's like, yes, I understand now. He's like, yes, the means of production.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
But of course, this being America in 2025, they are promptly arrested for trying to strike.
Yeah, this is real, like, this is a thing that, like, actually happened, where the police would, like, murder striking workers in the 30s and 40s.
Or the Pinkertons.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So, we gotta bust this bee out of the slammer, and that means we're gonna have to get him a good lawyer.
And we know the best one.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just making out with some lady in the beatnik club.
You can go and talk to him and say you need a lawyer.
The club for bees?
One of the options of why you need a lawyer is I want to adopt a Glottis, which I think is pretty adorable. And the lawyer's like, well, Glottis is 2,000 years old, and like you're not, like, he's older than you, and Manny's like, yeah, but you know, he's not really, like, he needs a
That's
guiding
so
hand. He needs a father figure.
That's really funny.
But Nick the lawyer will not work for you, so we're gonna have to find a way to pressure him into it. And we head back to our club, where the coat check girl tells us that someone was here and left a key and a note for us, but it has gone missing. So we go back to Nick. We can kind of trick him into going to see his boss, and we steal his card case, or I guess his cigarette case. Mm-hmm. And there's something rattling around inside it.
Yeah, well, when you talk to him, he tries to take a cigarette out of it, and a key falls out, and he like very obviously slowly bends over and picks it up and puts it back into his cigarette case. Like, he makes it as awkward as possible. He's like watching him the entire time. He slowly bends down and picks it up.
Mm-hmm. But Manny can't get into it, so we go back to our security friend and just go up to her and say, "Hey, I found this."
Yeah, you're like, I found this. She's like, "Was it unattended?" And you say yes, and she automatically goes, "It's a bomb."
And she puts it in like a little bomb explosion hatch that she has, and detonates it, and then gives you the key.
Yeah.
That takes us back to the lighthouse, where we find our photographer girl, but she has been
she got sprouted. They call it sprouted.
She's in the process of sprouting.
Yeah, this is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
It really is, because she's like, "Oh, Manny, I thought about you, but you were too obsessed with that Meche girl."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sad.
And she's like, "I always fall for the wrong guy, but would I have had a shot with you, Manny?" And then Manny just sort of looks to the side, and she's like, "I see."
Oh, he could have just made her feel better as she was dying.
Yeah.
But he can't do that.
No. But she doesn't have the picture she took on her. She says she's hid it somewhere where it will never be found. But she does have a card with a picture of a tongue on it.
Mm-hmm.
Lengua 22.
Yeah. Which we take back to our coat check girl. This is part of her new system that she was trying to tell us about
coat
before.
check system.
Yeah. She gives us the coat. The coat has a photo finish from a race in it. We have to now generate the ticket for that race, take it to the photo booth. They'll bring us like the file, and in the file is the adulterous photo. This is definitely one of the most obtuse like puzzle sequences. We already kind of went over it.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. I do like the stuffed cat statue that you get one of the piece of information from. I like that, and I also liked the litter box and trying to dig through that.
That's what I was gonna. I actually did not like that.
Gross.
I love cats, but man, boy, do I like. God, I have such a physical reaction to cleaning my cat's litter box. There's been multiple times where I've thrown up. I'm so squeamish when it comes to like that thing. I will just straight up puke. I hate it. Don't like it.
So we spring the bee, and then we're able to go get a set of tools. We don't even get it. We just like look at the set of the tools, and we're like, well, Glottis will have to carry those. Those are too heavy. But in order to get Glottis out of the bar where he is gambling and drinking compulsively, we have to get our own club shut down.
Yeah, and I like how Manny already has a roulette fixing station in his office.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he uses it.
He uses it to eke more money out of his customers.
No, he uses it but he uses it to keep the cops happy too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes up and makes sure the cop starts losing, and the cop is like, "This won't stand. We're shutting this place down."
Yeah.
So with Glottis's line of credit cut off, he is thrown out, and he and Manny ship off for Puerto Colombo.
All aboard! Next time on Square Roots, we'll play years 3 and 4.
Wow.
That's the whole end of the game.
Since this is a penultimate episode, I guess, can we announce what we're playing?
We've already announced it. Everybody knows.
Oh, we've already announced
playing
it?
Enchanted Arms.
From classic Enchanted Arms.
Sweet.
Great. I famously
You love From Software
From
games.
Software games.
It's not. It's a turn-based JRPG. It's not a Dark Soul, even if it's by
Yeah,
Miyazaki.
I love
it is
FromSoft
not-
inspired JRPGs. As famously, we have learned recently that everybody on Earth wants to fight with me because I had the audacity to say this game's good. but I don't love all the elements of it.
It's nothing like Dark Souls. It is like the opposite. If you made a game that had said
Obscure,
it's not Clair Obscure.
He was talking about Clair Obscure.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that it's nothing like that.
All right. Next time on Square Roots.
Yep. That's it for me. I'm not hosting anymore. You can do whatever you want.
What are you talking about? You did a great job. Don't
you did do a great job.
Down, Matt.
Tired.
Proud of you.
That made me tired.
Vanessa, what are you squarely against?
I am roundly for the vocal performances in this game. We didn't really get into it, but I think everyone does a great job. They all really capture that noir film vibe. The cast is all sort of actors. Like, they didn't draw in just randos, which they used to kind of do in the early days of video games.
No, none of the voice actors are also the game developers or their wives.
Yeah, if you look at the IMDb, they're all actors who have been working and performing. Tony Plana, who does Manny's voice, has been in 70 feature films.
Oh, wow.
So he's just one of those guys who acted forever. Same for Alan Blumfield, who does Glottis. He was in Heroes. He was in War Games. You know, it's like they're all people who've had very long and television and film careers, for the most part.
Cool.
Johnny, what are you squarely against?
I think if your friend says, "Hey, I don't want to go back to that place because of my problem," and you know his problem is a drinking and gambling addiction, don't give him a VIP pass.
But what if he has a mind like a child, Johnny? Does that make it better?
No, don't do that. He's your friend. Don't ruin his life.
Is it your?
Would
you describe that as a friend, somebody that you just kind of abuse into doing the things you need from them?
Manny's a complicated character. He's an anti-hero. What about you, Matt? What are you squarely for or roundly against?
Well, boring.
What? How is this boring?
Boring. Bored.
What?
Bored of this game.
Wow.
Glad it's only 2 episodes.
How can you be?
What a fucking slug. What a snoozer.
But Matt, you chose this game.
Well, this is my life now. Is people getting mad at me about my opinions on fucking video games. Sorry, I don't like your little fucking precious darling. I'm sorry. I played it. I did it. I did the game. I thought it was boring.
Jim used to think that this game was like Epic Bacon Hyken has cheeseburgers. Has Jim's opinion changed?
Yeah, how the fuck, Jim? Even I am aghast at this opinion that is so clearly wrong.
Well, but he seems to like it more this time, right?
Oh yeah, he loves it now. His favorite game.
Jim?
Yeah,
Well,
I actually am enjoying it. I was gonna say, like, I'm roundly for the second year. The first year, like, I don't know, it didn't really hang together for me as a coherent level. It's so weird. But the second one was super fun. It had I like the noir vibe of everything, and there like this thing had everything. It had murder, it had like a workers' revolution and communism, and there was like so much stuff happening.
You did,
really cool.
Send me a comment that's where you said that now that you're really into it, that playing this game reminds you of being a 13-year-old little boy in your diapers playing video games for the first time.
It's fun. Wow. Fun game. I don't know if I'll like feel that same way through the whole thing, but I enjoyed especially the latter half of the second year. I liked it a lot.
I will agree, even though boring. I will agree with you that it picks up. The second half is more fun. You get some fun twists and it's got some heavy noir vibes, and it's pretty good time.
You really get a sense for who Manny is too. Like he's kind of a scumbag, a douchebag.
In fact, I think Johnny just said that he's an anti-hero, and I would say he's definitely not that either. He is the protagonist.
He's a charming scumbag.
But otherwise, he is a scumbag piece of shit.
All right.
Just because he's rigging roulette tables and
abusing his quote-unquote friend, and seems to basically set up a situation where a man seems to have been murdered.
Yeah,
he also is like seemingly slept with and ghosted all of the women around.
Pro women this game.
Even the one that gets killed, the one that gets sprouted, her dying words are basically like, "Did you feel the same way about me as I felt about you?" And he stays silent, and she goes, "Never mind," and then she dies.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's funny.
All right. Well, since we have discussed how we are squarely against or roundly for, it's time for us to wrap this show up by talking about how we leveled up. Whoa. Johnny.
Yeah.
How did you level up?
You ever see a letter, Kenny?
No.
You ever see a letter, Kenny?
I've seen Letterkenny.
I talk about it in my video, and I'm like, yeah, I like K. Trevor Wilson from Letterkenny, but I didn't enjoy Letterkenny. But then I put a couple of, I was looking at clips to use to illustrate why I don't like Letterkenny, but then I kind of enjoyed those clips. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put on an episode of Letterkenny. I put on the first episode, which is, I'm going to give it more than we've all established. You need to watch more than the first episode of a show to see if you like the show, because usually the first episode is not great. And it does reestablish why the show turned me off, because it's all about how great these hockey fan straight guy bro guys are. And it reminds me of the people that made my life hell in high school. So it's like, oh yeah, that I have a very good reason for not enjoying this. But the writing is good, so I'll give it a few more. You know what? I shouldn't just because something's about rural Canadian straight guys doesn't mean that it's bad. And maybe I'll like it because the writing seems pretty good. It's just I have a life situation where I had very bad experiences with people like this show. I don't know if any of you have had a similar reaction to that, where it's like, the show isn't bad, but it reminds me of people I've really had a bad time with, But that's my Letterkenny experience. And also a lot of poop talk. Like, oh, I'm touching cloth here. I'm pushing out
a lot
turtles.
of poop and a lot of dick talk.
Yeah.
That's just and a lot of butthole talk.
That is just how straight men talk to each other.
You
should all be grateful that I don't send the messages to you that I send to the group chat with Bannon and Paul, because that would be a nightmare.
I'm very
Jim, what
grateful.
was the third kind of talk?
Like poop humor.
Yeah,
it's not
neither
humor.
do I.
It's
and
just
I like
accurate descriptions of what's happening.
I don't like those. I don't know. That kind of humor doesn't work for me. I'm with Vanessa on this. And again, I think it's because it reminds me of people I don't get along with super well, and ostracized me socially when I was in my formative years. And while I should get over that, that was high school. Everyone was shitty in high school.
Yeah, you're 50 years old.
Yeah, I'm 50 years old. It's still, it takes a while to get over that kind of crap when you had a really bad time.
Yeah, 50
sometimes.
years.
Yeah, apparently your entire life.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? It was a really bad time, Matt. I had people telling me to kill myself a lot. So, it
seems to
it
be
was
a normal
good.
high school experience these days.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that's about it. And I've finished a rough draft of my video and discovered, don't post Saturday Night Live clips, but that's okay. Vanessa, what about you? How Vanessa level up?
How Vanessa level up? Vanessa been watching some movies. Vanessa been watching some TV. I watched A Simple Favor 2. This is the direct sequel to A Simple Favor with Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick, which was okay. And this movie, I would say, is less okay than the first one, but it was fine for watching at home on a Tuesday night, which is when I watched it. Not exactly a glowing endorsement, but it's shot in Capri. It looks pretty. There's pretty clothes, and it has its funny moments. It's not really a believable film, but it's not trying to be. I also watched a movie called Fanatical: The Catfishing of Tegan and Sarah.
What?
This is about Canadian lesbian supergroup Tegan and Sarah.
They're twin sisters too, and I've met them at work one time.
Whoa!
Yeah, they were very nice.
It's about sort of in the early days of the internet, because not early days of the internet, early days of like social media, because they came into prominence in like around 2004. Somebody started pretending to be Tegan online and forming all of these oftentimes very intimate relationships with Tegan and Sarah fans, and basically took advantage of the fact that Tegan herself didn't have a big internet presence to step into that role, and about sort of how it affected her life and her relationships and the fans who were victims of this person, and attempts to identify who did it, which the documentary is a little bit infuriating because I feel like they did identify who did it, and then they convinced themselves that that wasn't the person who did it. So that was a little odd, but I don't know if maybe they're like trying to cover themselves from a liability standpoint because they didn't have direct proof, but they talked to someone who comes off as very evasive and dismissive of what the impact of whoever catfished Tegan's actions had on Tegan herself. It was alright. I think that it was interesting in the sense that, like, now celebrity catfishing is pretty common and usually done to extract money from people, but at the time it was really not done that frequently. And there was some pretty serious blowout from it. Like, one woman who knew Tegan in real life believed that they were texting and emailing each other and sort of having an affair, and then
that's so
Tegan
weird,
didn't like show up to have this affair with her, she started like talking shit about her all through the Vancouver music scene. And then the woman who was doing that got totally ostracized because they're like, you're insane. Like, Tegan says she hasn't even ever talked to you like that, so I don't know what's happening.
So weird.
It's very weird. So it's very sort of weird. It's very much about like the kind of niche alt music community, and especially like women doing alt music in queer spaces. So it's interesting. And then I watched the final season of You.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, which is a show that started off really campy and never stopped. And I would say that each subsequent season is less believable and probably less enjoyable, but now it's over. It's like the worst sort of thriller romance Cinemax movies you can imagine, combined with like Lifetime movie of the week kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like trashy melodrama.
It is. It's very trashy melodrama. This season saw the return of Charlotte Ritchie, who Taskmaster fans will know from season 12 of Taskmaster.
And from Ghosts. She's really good in Ghosts.
Yeah. Playing a very different character from what her Taskmaster personality and Ghost persona seem to be. So
that does seem to be how acting works, though. You know,
it is how acting work. And then
wait, so you're saying that they aren't always like their characters?
There aren't always like their characters.
It
also had the woman who plays Janine on Handmaid's Tale, And she was in Orange is the New Black, and I do not remember her name, but give me a second, I will find it. Madeline Brewer. And she did a good job. She's a good actress. She pops up in a lot of things. And it was, if you watch seasons 1 through 4, you might as well watch season 5. It's only 10 episodes long. It'll fly right by, and it wraps up everything more or less. And I do think that Penn Badgley does a great job in that role, even though he apparently hates playing that role and hates being on the show, and
oh wow,
unchristian, and is not into
wow, huh?
And that's how I leveled up.
The real
Jim.
Kirk Cameron kind of thing.
Yeah. Jim.
What did I do? I did some outdoor activities. I went fishing. I bought a new fishing pole, so that was fun because I broke my other one. And I read a book. I finished a book called Clown in a Cornfield.
Whoa, you finished it?
I did. I will say I didn't like the book. I mean, I liked the way it was written. I think the author is really talented and I liked his style of writing, but I didn't like the way the story ended. I thought it was super dumb. Now I kind of don't want to see the movie. I don't really care about it anymore.
Well, thank God that you're not going to inflict that upon us in a couple of months.
Yeah, I really thought you're going to when it hits streaming, you're going to make us watch Clown in the Cornfield.
No, I didn't like it. Maybe the movie will be good, entertaining, but I just think the story is really silly and stupid.
Weird for a book titled Clown in a Cornfield.
This is kind of a pre-level up, but I'm gonna go see a couple bands that I really like on Saturday. So
Krungbin?
that's super cool.
Christian rock?
Krungbin.
Oh shit! Are you seeing Krungbin?
Oh no,
the Christian rock band?
No, I'm not seeing Krungbin. That sounds terrible.
Somebody with really poor taste in music would say so.
I'm gonna go see the Menzingers.
Real loser
and,
opinion, you know what
Lucero. I mean? So
wait,
that'll be fun.
So Krungbin, not cool, but you're gonna go see the fucking Messengers?
Menzingers?
Yes. Okay, cool. So how is that one-hit wonder 2001 pop punk band gonna be, do you think? Do you think they're gonna play their one song? Are they gonna play their one song, Jim?
Jeez.
I don't think you have a proper appreciation for how deep the Menzingers catalog is, man.
I'm sorry, I have a flash correction. Penn Badgley is not Christian. He is a member of the Baha'i faith. Baha'i.
What's that?
Are the
I don't want to get into what that is.
Yeah.
Baha'i.
Okay.
It's like Aloha, right?
I had a Baha'i roommate when I first moved out of home, and she was great, and they seemed like very nice people. That's all I gotta say about that.
So yeah, that's how I leveled up. Have we all gone?
No.
Yes.
Matt, how did you level up?
Yeah, great question. Thank you.
Tell us about whatever comic book bullshit you did last week.
Ooh, I did some comic book
listen to
bullshit
Krungbin.
last week. That's right, gang. I went and saw Thunderbolts Asterisk. I went and saw Thunderbolts, and it was a good, fun time. Yes, I may have put a T on the end of that word. I went and saw Thunderbolts, and it was a good, fun time. Marvel's back, baby. Okay, maybe not, but it was good. It was definitely the best Marvel movie I'd seen in a while. I don't think it's going to make a re-believer out of anybody that's tired of these movies, and I don't blame them. But it was certainly a unique film, led mostly by Florence Pugh as Black Widow 2. She is delightful. And they continued building upon her relationship with David Harbour as the Red Guardian from the Black Widow movie, and that continues to be very fun and touching.
How tight is David Harbour's suit?
You know, it looks pretty plasticky, so...
Aww.
It's not skin tight spandex or anything. They reused Wyatt Russell as whatever his character's name is from the Falcon and Winter Soldier show as I believe the comic character's name is U.S. Agent, but I don't think they have ever used that in the
that's a terrible. I've always thought that was a bad.
Yeah, it's a bad one. They just kind of he's a failed Captain America basically.
What do they call him?
They just don't. They just call him fucking John or whatever his name is. You know?
Oh, okay.
Yep, Johnny. Oh, okay.
Agent
They
John.
call him Johnny. They don't call him Agent anything. I don't want to spoil anything, so I don't want to get into that. But they reuse him, and he actually, I thought, really shined in this one. That Falcon and Winter Soldier show was not very good, though I thought he was one of the best parts of it as kind of an antagonist. But in this, he's great. You know, him and I don't know any of the actress that plays Ghost from the Ant-Man and Wasp movie. She comes back as well. This is all stuff that's in the previews. But the two of them do a lot of comic relief, and they're very good and entertaining. And Yelena Florence Pugh is really the lead of the movie, and she's really good. And I don't feel like I should get into the antagonists of the movie, but I will say that they were really well done. And there were several moments that I really liked. There was one moment that reminded me of the Zack Snyder Justice League movies, but in a good way. And I feel like it was.
Did they enter the Speed Force?
Yep, they entered the Speed Force. I feel like it was intentional. I felt like it was almost like an homage, but like in a poking fun at it kind of way. It was great, and maybe the best part is that the big, let's call it the big end fight, the climax of the movie, was not an alien who summoned other aliens from a portal. You know what I mean? And was instead a really well done, touching, appropriate for the movie and the setting thing that was just really fucking good. And a lot of people, Artie, a listener, Owen, a listener, have said really hit him hard, made him tear up a little bit. It was, it was a really good time. And I'm really glad I went and saw it before they started spoiling shit in the previews and in the billboards the following Monday. Though I would say those spoilers were pretty minor and pretty related to like the epilogue of the movie. I also just finished a legitimately great book called The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. I cannot recall.
Once I drank from you.
I cannot recall if I talked about this on the show before, so I'll assume that I have not. The Tainted Cup is a fantasy novel. It is a Sherlock and Watson-style mystery set in a land where giant Godzilla-type kaijus come out of the sea every year and try to rampage across the land. And it is a Roman Empire-esque government that is basically solely dedicated to stopping these kaijus, which are called titans in the book, from getting inland. And then that's just the setting, and the story itself is about a murder mystery with the main character being a Watson, a Watson style assistant to the investigator, who is she is a very weird person, very awkward and difficult and kind of an agoraphobic. And it was just fucking super. Legitimately a 10 out of 10 book. If you are interested in that type of thing at all, fantasy novels, Sherlock novels, I think that you will enjoy it. I think that it really nails every aspect. It's well written. It's got a really interesting setting. It's got a really interesting murder mystery. It also was, this is what I really wanted to say is it is also like a novel for our times. For the first time when reading a book on my Kindle app, I started getting these selected passages highlighted by other readers, where it would underline parts of the text, and all of them were very much about, you know, governments that are failing and leaders that are bad and people with too much money that are destroying the world. And it really fucking worked on just every...
Sounds like a real fantasy.
On every conceivable...
I'm not into high fantasy like
You're
that.
not into anything that has real world politics, and that's why if there's a gay person, you won't watch it because... Or a black person, you won't watch it because that's... You're injecting
I live in the real world. I don't
politics.
see any of those people in my house.
It really was, on top of being a really interesting setting and a really well-written book and a really great murder mystery, was a really poignant story that matched our times really well, and I thought was fucking fantastic. And I did something I very rarely do, which is that I went ahead and paid the $14 or whatever for the follow-up book on Kindle. Even though usually I like to wait for sales on these things, I was like, I have to start this today, now. That's how fucking good it was. The newest one had just came out this year, so there's only the two. It's an anthology-style series, which makes sense with the murder mystery setting. It's not like an epic fantasy that, you know, each book has to lead into the next. I'm pretty fucking tired of that stuff. But big recommend. Tainted Cup, Robert Jackson Bennett. Robert Bennett Jackson? Something like that. I really loved it, and I'm really sorry. I can't recall who in the Discord recommended it to me, but what a great recommendation. I cannot thank you enough. Blew me away. Fantastic. And I will just quickly say, I made my poor children watch the first episode of the new season of Taskmaster with me. My son has watched Taskmaster with me in the past, and he likes it. It's a funny show. My daughter has not, and she fucking loved it. So that was fun.
Yeah.
Even though she's kind of got a weird hate on for British people lately. I don't know where it came from. Particularly Fatia. She really enjoyed both her humor and her kind of abrasive attitude. And of course, they recognize Jason Mantzoukas from Community and from Brooklyn Nine-Nine because we watched those together. So I think they enjoyed seeing him in that, and it gave them a little more of an inroad to it. Yeah, good fun time. Taskmaster season, whatever. The Jason Mantzoukas season, it will go down in history as, I'm sure, because he'll win it. Mm-hmm. If you have not ever checked that show out, now's the time. Now's the time.
It is. It's true.
What's the lady's name? Fatua?
Is it I thought it was Fatia, but maybe it's Fatua.
Fatia? I guess from media and from knowing people, Muslim ladies in real life, I always assume if someone's wearing a hijab, they're going to be soft-spoken, and she is so... And of course, that's a bad thing on my part. She is so the opposite of that, that it's shocking in a great way.
I thought she was funny, but I found the way she kind of refused to participate kind of annoying. Like, what are you doing here then? Like, go do something else. If you're just going to blow it off.
If there's like one person like that, who's like the curmudgeon, who's not into it, it would be irritating if it was all five of them, but...
Yeah.
Anyway, it was fun, and that is how I leveled up. Vanessa, we have an email.
Yes, and Johnny is going to read it. I sent it to the group chat, so he can do it.
Uh-huh.
Wow, let me just pull open that GC.
Nicely done.
All right, here I'm going to open that up. Theory about the weapons move. No, that's not it. Okay, this is from Ron. Grandia 2 is the fucking best. Okay, talking from a totally nostalgia-filled heart, this is one of the best games I had on Dreamcast, which also came with a CD of all the big songs. I then listened to Trina and Cardcaptor Sakura and NERD on repeat on my Discman during long work drive in Florida for years, so this game resonates with me. From Marek being Ron trade till Rowan's possible trans lifestyle.
I mean, that second act haircut, maybe.
Even Millennia getting my pan side with the heels stepping on me has everything. But the music in VA is so good. Again, Final Fantasy 13-2 is the best OST in any game so far, but this is a close second. I still have to play 13-2. If y'all can look up the disco remix of the main theme, imagine dancing to it in the shower. It was a glorious time. The battling of the game is so fun and intriguing as well. I love the warp shoes. I hope you sexy peeps are all doing well. I do love playing along with you after all these many years. In these times, you are soulless, and I appreciate y'all. Much hugs and tugs. No tugging. Ron.
I just wanted to say to Ron first and foremost, you can curse in emails. Like, it's fine.
I appreciate it. Ron's a gentleman, and he knows how to use language without stooping to curses and foul words or turns of phrase. Except for hugs and tugs.
While I don't have the nostalgic background that Ron has, I agree. That game blew me out of the fucking water. Like, I felt like I was a 13-year-old boy playing video games for the first time.
What's funny is that, like, I've been, because I'm not going to talk about it a lot, but I really enjoyed Clair Obscur. And so I've been watching videos about it on YouTube, and people are talking about, like, oh, I love the combat for this. It's like up there with like Grandia 2 of like combat systems that I really enjoy. Not because they're similar, but just because people like them so much. And so, like, I feel like I've been hearing about Grandia 2 more since we've been playing it than I have, like, ever
I've had
in the last, like, 20 years.
I've had to restrain myself recently. I don't. Everybody knows I'm ashamed to admit it, but I use Reddit. I'm a Redditor, but I don't really use it that much anymore. I kind of, after the election, I was like, I don't think I like this website. I don't know why. I blamed Reddit, mostly for getting my hopes up, but I'm not on it much. But I have weirdly had to fight the urge several times in the last month or so to respond to somebody being like, should I play this or this, with what you should play is fucking Grandia 2. Because it's better than both of these pieces of shit, and it's $40. Go get that.
And comes with Grandia 1.
Yeah, that also is a curse that you can afflict upon people. Is it weird that I've thought about trying Grandia 1 because I enjoyed Grandia 2 so much?
They're very different.
There's that cow man. I love the cow man.
It would be a mistake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you have to listen to all that terrible voice acting again. All right. I think that's it. Let's remind everyone that we have a Patreon. It's at patreon.com/squarerootspodcast. And we have so much great bonus content on there. What did we do last time? Oh, we talked about Until Dawn. That was the last bonus that we did. John, Matt, and I think we all enjoyed it.
What are we doing this month? For the month of May.
Yeah.
We're gonna pop Jim's Bond cherry.
Whoa.
Yeah, I've never seen a Bond film. Which one are we going to watch?
GoldenEye.
Yeah, the one with the ball torture? No, GoldenEye. Okay. I'm a little nervous about that. I'm a little afraid that it's not going to hit with Jim, and he's going to be like, oh, this is just like a trash 90s action movie.
I like trash 90s action movies.
Oh, that's fair. That's a good point.
Besides, it is the film that inspired one of the top video games of all time, GoldenEye 64, or whatever the hell it's called.
GoldenEye 007. Or 007 GoldenEye.
And it has traders in it. You love traders.
Famke Janssen's in it.
And it has the great Gazoo himself.
OOT. Who?
I've never seen the movie. I don't know who you're talking about.
You don't know who
It's
Famke
Traders,
Janssen is?
the great Gazoo.
Well, I know who that... Well, I didn't know the actor was in that movie until you just told me, so...
Yeah.
Spoilers.
All right, well, spoilers for an
The
actor
great
being in a
Gazoo
movie.
Traders.
So yeah, if you would like to listen to that, you can subscribe at the $3 level. You can also subscribe at the $5 level, which gives you access to all that content, plus the ability to vote on games that we play on the show. Next vote will happen as we get towards the end of Enchanted Arms, so stay tuned for that. Enchanted Arms is our next game, so that's fun. And another benefit of being a patron, no matter what tier you subscribe at, is we like to personally thank some of them on the show. I'm going to start us off this week by thanking Isaac Wright, Chris Parsons, Jesse's Mom's Pizza, Cameron Shoei, Lex Averial, Hat Ben, the Ben with the Hat, Militant Decency, Sexy Grandma's Retirement Home, Amanda Pyers, and Josh Rose.
I'd like to thank John B. Quaker Oatman, Star Healer, Julie, Loafing Around, Himbo Baggins, Jaybird, Nick, David Green, RP Siege, and Chris Sasaki.
I'd like to thank AJL for the Square Roots podcast. I'm Stim Stanks. I'm Amanda Douglas, Ward Childress, Matt Jorgensen, Eric Garby, Sora's Key Bump Blade, Hexagon, Robert T, and Seth G.
And I'd like to thank Angel, Gage La Charité, Arthur A, Cerulean, Johnny Five Alive, Tom, Rachel, Florian Jonas Kramer, Hayden Neff, and Andy Smith.
All right. If you'd like to send us an email to have read on the show, you can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people, or find us on Blue Sky at squarerootspod.bsky.social.
Hey, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Gomina, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our theme. You can find Stephen on YouTube with links in the show notes.
All right, for Square Roots, I'm Jim Banks.
I'm Mafu Van Vent.
I'm Johnny Brandon.
And I'm Grim Fandango, the skeleton salesman.
Goodbye.
Bye. If you think I won't keep that joke going next week, you're wrong.